Hey guys, how's it going? We are back on track here on the playoffs phase of our very much ESA Cup of Rainbow Six in Europe. We're talking about the final stage of this competition, and this is amazing. It's an amazing day to see these two big teams playing against each other. I'm Igor Lanex, and I'm here with M Guns. How's it going, man? Are you ready for the clash? Fantastic! It is amazing to be with Guns here. So it's Yeah. Is it all good, production? I think we're good. We are going. I can hear Gums. I don't know if the chat can hear him, but that's gonna be fixed in a second, guys. It's gonna be a great game, like I said, because we're looking into two teams that worked a lot to be here. They had to play the 5 matches out of 5 during the Swiss phase. So these rosters are absolutely on their peak to deliver the best gameplay they can today in this game that is gonna, of course, maybe lock themselves up into the next steps. Let's see who's going to be able to move forward going into the finals, potentially staying alive into the upper bracket, or who's going to be losing and going down to have to try again. But it's going to be, anyhow, a very, very good encounter here between MVG, MolotovGang, and also Entropy Gaming, right? Gams. Are you ready? Nice, nice, nice. It's amazing, yeah, right, to find these teams, striving to obviously reach their best level here, the best form. Like I said, they have faced a lot of different moments, and they have lost, they have won, they have had a chance of, actually understanding better each other and also understanding and studying the opponents. So it's going to be a major, major game. 3 maps out of 3. That's what I expect totally here. Gums. I don't expect like a 2-0. Also, because these two teams, they have already played against each other in the first phase of the competition, like I said. So they are better polished, wouldn't you say, than before? Whatever didn't happen to be good, they surely have fixed this. They have surely improved their levels into this day to day.
I was going to say, I'm hoping we get a really, really good final here. And I think the chat now can hear me as well, which is nice. So it's good to be, yeah, as I was saying, it's good to be here. I'm hoping we get a really, really good final here. This is a BO3 as well as Lane X, so I'm hoping it doesn't finish in 2 maps. I think it's always nice to see a third map and to find, get a 1-1 split and go to that decider. So I'm very, very excited to be back on console and see some console siege.
Well, if that ever happens, right? Because as we know, Consulate can be the decider. So we're talking about a skyscraper who is gonna be, which is gonna be the starter for the series. It's gonna be a very, very good map to see rolling at the first time. And then after that, we're gonna go into Cafe Dostoyevsky. So 2 interesting maps to begin with. Let's see if any other teams are gonna be actually, seizing the 2 maps to avoid the third one. But yes, I'm potentially expecting for a consulate, and it's interesting to see how Entropy, they tend to like the more, I would say, longer or a more drawn out kind of series. They do better actually on longer maps and longer series as a whole, as opposed to MVG, where they like to go blasty and flashy and already like to find things fastly. That's what they have been doing to opponents. So I'm very much eager to see what is going to be rolling. And I'm actually anxious, Gams, to talk to you about the potential picks and bans. That's also a very, very important part of the game itself, as we know the draft, with a lot of changes over the season, right? We are at a different spot now, almost getting into the update.
Yeah, so like new season was supposed to go out today. I know for everybody watching that's on console, you guys have been enjoying the new season, and it's been great. For those of us on PC, we still do not have the new season yet, which is very, very annoying. But as we move to this new season, very, very much excited for the Blackbeard changes. But just touching on the maps quickly, it looks like we've got 3 very defender-sided maps coming in. Also, my experience has been mainly on PC, but I'm sure this translates onto console as well. Skyscraper is very unkind to the attackers. Cafe is very, very similar as well. A lot of people say Cafe is Windows Simulator. If you don't clear some of the key positions, it can make it very, very difficult to get into the building. and then Consulate as well, top floor and that basement site being incredibly difficult to attack, um, makes things very, very interesting across this series. I think both of these teams choosing, very defender-sided maps as we move into our head-to-head, as you can see on the screen here. Also, you've been watching a little bit longer than I have. Is there any standout players from any of these rosters that people should be keeping an eye on?
Absolutely, that's an interesting topic to also approach here in the stream. As we know, from the side of Entropy, these guys have been solid all over the season. Especially Rise, who will be, I would say, my top pick when it comes to being the decider as a player for the roster. Such a complete player to play against. Now, on the side of MolotovGang, we would say Jewett is a very, very good player. Also a very good soldier to be with the team, but Betty was another very, very masterful kind of player on the team. I don't think he's going to play today, as I see now from according to this roster screen at least. But Variox or Vario, if you want, has been a major update for the team. He has been important in some occasions, killing more, deciding on the very last seconds of the round. So I'm expecting to be a very even clash here. Like I said, nothing of a one-sided kind of conflict. I would say these teams are going to be doing their best, and it's going to be amazing to see them play. A lot of new names as well. The roster changes happening as we move into the predictions here when it comes to the win rates, right, M-Gums? We're talking about Entropy with a 78% of win rate onto Cafe, and also MolotovGang bringing their best into Skyscraper. So let's see if MolotovGang are going to be seizing this nice moment, maybe right at the start of the series as we go into the first map, Skyscraper, and now the ban phase. Let's see what is going to happen, man.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what bans these teams are going to go with. This is one of those maps where these bans can be huge for your team. Especially, I'd like to see how the attacking bans go. This is now got the shield nerfs. So the new season is active on console, so we should see the shields be a little bit less important. So I'm going to be very interested to see if these teams still fear the shields the same way everyone did before the season went live. So as you can see, we do get a Mav ban coming in from Entropy Gaming. I think this is to basically make the defense way stronger. They're going to be looking to maximize if they can, maximize their defenses. We are not going to see the Blackbeard rework coming in this game. Very, very interesting coming out from the MolotovGang. Coming out from Entropy there because I've got the bands backwards. But yeah, no Blackbeard rework here today. Again, Valkyrie being a very, very annoying operator, especially this map is so big. Valkyrie can offer you so much information around what's going on across the map, maybe off-site as well. So the defense is not going to have that additional information available to them today. What do you think the last defensive ban is going to be, Lanex?
Well, we're looking to, I don't know, a ban potentially onto Blitz or Monty to not allow them that kind of a break. But Mira is the final choice when it comes to not allowing operators. Interesting too. I wasn't gonna put her into this category of the bans actually at first, but there it is. We're gonna be seeing potentially the shield operators, breaking through and bringing the stacks behind them. That's something we have seen in previous matches. So I'm eager to see how all that's gonna roll, since there was already this respect kind of ban onto Blackbeard, right? The guy maybe is gonna be back into the game. It's gonna be interesting to see him in potentially future matches and seasons. There it is. We are ready on the first round here between Entropy and MVG. Quite a game, remembering that MVG have taken the first clash between them and Entropy. They have won by 2-0 previously, so it's going to be their chance to repeat the performance potentially. Since they're attacking here, but let's see how Entropy are going to be behaving on the defensive side here. Guns.
10 seconds.
Yeah, so I was going to say, if you're looking at the line, I'm interested that Entropy Gaming didn't bring a Cade.
5 seconds.
So obviously Thatcher is available. And with the Mav ban coming in, I would have thought maybe this is just a strat they've been practicing. But when you see the Mav ban coming in, it basically should be emphasizing the fact that you can have a lot more freedom when it comes to keeping these walls closed. So you look on the side of the attacking team, Mute's going to be the only main obstacle to getting these walls open, as we're going to see if there's an extension here coming out from the side of Entropy Gaming. So they are going to get this office wall open very shortly, but it's this extension normally is the biggest obstacle. So looks like Entropy are going to be using this Mute more for intel denial than actually keeping the walls closed and trying to basically burn the attacker's time by holding this office side of the map. You can waste so much time by just being a nuisance in these positions because it's just the entry points for the attackers. There just isn't many of them, as this Flores drone is going to try and get rid of some of these bits of utility. But I'm a little bit worried. We also have a Legion shotgun, which is going to be very interesting to see how they're going to put that to use as well. That's a pretty rare sight on PC, so it's very interesting to see that we have a Legion shotgun being brought out as well.
Reloading ammo.
All right, here we go. We see indeed some of the first movements. Like you said, it's going to be interesting to see those choices. We right have definitely here Aina trying to make first breach, as we see now. Finally, other operators moving into the compound. We have a vision onto Hachi. He's taking a pick here with his gridlock, potentially trying to see if someone is off guard at these first seconds of the first round. Ladies and gentlemen, it's already a kill by Aina, like I said. Very nice, I would say, sneaky work against the player from Entropy. Already taking Yuki down, to be fair. Gonna be a 5v4 now. From now on, actually, favoring totally MVG at these first moments and first picks. Let's see how that's gonna be playing to their favor, attacking and breaching in against Entropy, who are having to go for this defensive with 4 players. Never tough for them.
Play next, I'm really worried. There's only a minute left of this round, and they've only cleared up to the terrace side, and they've still got this clash to deal with. And my main concern is, we look at the lineup that the attackers are bringing. There's no Zofia, there's no Kali. I don't think they had any info that this clash was a thing, as Frost is going to get a great trade back to even up the man count. But like this clash is going to be a real problem. Like, you now can't advance onto highway. You can't get anywhere near the bomb site without being swung or being notified. The defense will know where you are because of this clash. So you can see that clock is burning. There's only 30 seconds left. It's like there's no time left for the attackers, and they're nowhere close to the bomb site. So I'm really worried for the attacking side here.
Yes, you see, that clash definitely can be a major force to defend positions and spots for Entropy. Like you pointed out, I like how you phrased it, because now, otherwise, unless you're taken by the flanks, by the sides, just try that. With his Flores trying to make for this pick, and we see a little bit of those movements, a clash in the corner. We see taking Hasi down, and Hasi is not alive. We see a 4v2, so fantastic reaction power by Entropy with 3 bullets in the end, multitasking this damage and totally smashing MVG at the start of the map. 1-0 so far, so it was a good response effort. Like I said, this final seconds favoring them a lot.
Yeah, it was it's just a really good defense coming in from Entropy Gaming. I like the strat they brought. They've definitely been, practicing their defensive strats, and it really paid off. You saw that as well, the Legion shotgun coming in clutch. You can see why he brought it now, using that really close range corners to his advantage. And I think we're going to see a clash being brought every round from the side of Entropy. We've also got a clash as we move into, I want to say it's office. We will find out very shortly. Yes, as we move into this office side, we also have another clash again. And it's very interesting that this is the exact same lineup from Entropy Gaming. We've got literally all the identical operators on every single player. There's been no change to the lineup from Entropy here. So it'll be very interesting to see if for this bomb site, as well as for Kitchen, which is normally the preferred bomb site for your third bomb site, if we're going to see the same lineup again. But it seems like Entropy really leaning on the sort of aggressive playstyle of the traps, as well as the clash. I just want to see if Vigil's brought the Boss G as well. Since the damage fall-off has been nerfed on that weapon has become a menace to R6 players everywhere. So if he has got the Boss G, that's definitely something that can be, just give you a free pick basically. All it takes is one piece of good aim from that player. To see how the attackers can react to the setup that has been brought here. It's just a case of, we need to deal with this clash. We've got the Zofia as well, which is really good to see. So that should be basically our primary counter to this, basically what was the win condition from the last round.
Yes, Zofia coming on the side of Flores. Interesting choices by MVG to have perhaps increase their anti-gadget power on the top of using obviously grid to lock those roamings from Entropy eventually during the round. And it also have a lot of good choices also on the breaching side of things, obviously with the Termite, and we have Ace to do also that kind of boost movement ahead. So it's a lot of potential here that we see that comes from the side of MVG, and on the side of Entropy, on the other hand, we see a lot of those standard picks by them from previous matches. And I'm talking about Mute, I'm talking about Legion, Frost, they repeatedly bring those operators. And that happens again already in Skyscraper now versus MVG. We already see the first pick by Hachi using his gridlock again to try to get that information. It's a 5v5 so far to this point. Even though Just has lost some of his points on the life side of things, it's 1-0 for Entropy. Such a good start by them. And I was going to precisely point that out. M-Guns, they have lacked that focus on the beginning, on the early moments of the games. And they have apparently adjusted that already, opening nicely versus MVG so far.
I was gonna say that's the hard breach too. Like the Thermite taking open engagement, we get a good trade coming in from the gridlock. But again, they've wasted a lot of time just taking up to this highway point. Like pushing in through, like this is not even the bomb site. Like you've taken Dragon, which is really, really good. The attackers made it take up to Dragon, up to Terrace. But the question is, you've still got this clash available. There's only one stun left on the side of Zofia. And this is where we basically need to full send it against a line of defenders that are basically waiting for you to push into the bomb site. As long as Entropy don't overpeak and they just hold the only 2 doorways into this bomb site, because as you saw, Thermite being picked before he's got this breach open, there's only 2 ways into this bomb site, and one of them's guarded by a clash. Entropy are doing a great job here of just not overpeaking. As I say that, Rise gets his head taken off. As Gridlock is going to push into the site, does get traded, and this is the problem. You're just sending it into like a funnel basically, but somehow the attackers are making it work. There, we move into this execute.
You see Aina taking Yuki down. A lot of those bottlenecks points. Interestingly, helping so far Entropy. Double kill by Shisui. Amazing wrap up around. He brings the back of kills and buries 2 opponents to help the team even further. So there it is. Nice job. An excellent team play so far on their side. As we see Molotov struggling to find that place, right? And we know also by fact, by previous matches, again, bringing the numbers and the stats here to help us analyze. MVG, they do know how to start at a nice note, at a nice tone, but that's not the case. Apparently, at these first moments of Skyscraper versus Entropy Gaming. Again, Entropy repeating those peaks, right? It calls my attention to see again and again the Legion, we see the Frost, we see now Vigil, we see Capcom and Castle. So these guys are looking solid. They have been changing some picks here and there, but overall, the defensive system is working pretty well.
Yeah, it's just the clash. Like the clash is the major win condition. Like in the early round, you saw the clash extended all the way into Tea Room, basically claiming the whole map for the defense. And I just like the synergy between the Legion as well as the Clash. Seems like those 2 players have got very, very good chemistry to work together to basically burn the whole clock down. It's just a really good job of the defenders to understand how much time we can waste and if we're facing enough pressure to have to back off. You saw there was almost glimpses of really good teamwork coming in from the MolotovGang.
Yeah. As
they were coordinating the Zofia with the Ace to try and be able to counter the Clash, but it just didn't work out because the Clash, playing it really smart, has just backed off. And then basically just made herself unkillable. Like they just didn't manage to use the utility in the way that like got them the entry, and that's where hopefully as we move to this 3rd round, this will be the last bomb site in the rotation. And you can see as well as from the side entry gaming, the lineup has changed. They've brought even more traps. Like it seems like Entropy want to really utilize sort of the cheesier operators to lead them to success. You've got a Capcan and a Frost on the board, so it'll be interesting to see if a Pogmat will get any kills in this round. But this is a much better round coming in for the side of MolotovGang. They found an entry into office and they've actually managed to get up to the halfway point on the top floor a lot faster. But like I think that's due to Entropy Gaming just not holding it, as that nade is going to miss that castle barricade. So interesting use of the utility, as he's got no nades left either. So there's like, I'm very concerned because there's no soft destruction. We've got the breaches on Ace, but this is really good work coming in from Entropy Gaming. Oh, sorry, from the attacking side of MolotovGang. We've pushed all the way up to Drum. We've forced the defenders back into just the vert above the site. So the question is now, can we flush these operators out and start doing some vertical on the site maybe, or pushing our way into the bomb site after we've cleared the top floor?
Well, those annoying, unsettling upcoming calls are coming already from Dokkaebi on the hands of Mirror, right? And also, along with Jackal, they got a lot of hunting power. They got a lot of information collecting power as well to see and understand where Entropy players are posing themselves now. A little bit of a damage in a little bit of a clash now. Onto the stairs. Nice pick by Hachiwara. Bullet. He takes Rise down easily, fast and clean. And after that, Shisu also responding pretty quickly. As we see this 4v4 now. Interesting round. It's the 3rd one on the first map, guys. please, also use the chat to tell us your expectations when it comes to teams, when it comes to players. Who's gonna be the best? Who's gonna be winning here? Things, as we see already, just down. Oh, actually, his life pretty low. Aina, losing a little bit of his firepower since the start of the game. Now on these dash two when it comes to the KD, and it's a pretty tough spot for Just. Entropy now again with better numbers and looking solid to move onwards. Also using those duos, rotating more together. These guys are doing their best now. 4v3. Shisui is the man taking very well. It's a double kill. Duet takes Trixie. And it's a very, very daunting end of a round for MVG. And
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's just the clock is the enemy right now for the side of MolotovGang. But like, it's not all doom and gloom. Like you saw, there's a really good entry coming in from the gridlock.
It's just and the end. So there it is. We finally see the rob of the round. What a bullet again! Using that piece of information he had from the wall, it was a nice area when it comes to not being ready there. So they're just doing whatever they want, right? It's a 3-3 so far. Excuse me. So it's a very, very well composed moment for Entropy at this first moment of the map.
Yeah, it's just the clock is the enemy right now coming in for MolotovGang. Like everything is like, this map is notoriously defender sided, so it's not the end of the world.
We have been seeing, guys, apparently some issues on the side of Gams. I think I am alone now, solo casting 4 now, but eventually we're gonna be back with Gams also talking and bringing the analysis as we see for now some numbers, some of the analytics that composed these first 3 rounds on the first map. Skyscraper being so much on the side of Entropy to this point, interestingly, with Shisui being the top fragger when it comes to damage and bullet delivered, 5-0 on his side, and Hachi brought a 3-3. So the game is going to be back on track apparently. Let's keep going onwards and finding the best highlight moments and the best plays for you guys. So yeah, thanks for staying with us. I think Guns is back.
Yeah,
are you alive, man?
I'm all good. Yeah. So the issues on my end keep stacking up, but I am back. But I was gonna say, like, the time is the enemy right now coming in from MolotovGang. Like, it's just a case of like they need to get themselves moving, and they need to get themselves moving faster. They did a much better job of it on that last round. Like you saw, Gridlock pushed all the way up to Tea Room. She managed to find the entry on the Gridlock as well. But it's just that pre-placed Nitro, which is a really nice strat coming in from the side Entropy Gaming to trade the kills back. And it's just a case of Entropy Gaming are just doing a really good job of understanding what they need to hold and making it as difficult as possible for MolotovGang. I'd like to see maybe some adjustments to give MolotovGang maybe some more info about like how they're pushing in. I think it's a case of MolotovGang just they're not finding the entries because of that lack of information maybe, or it could just be they need to grow some confidence and just try and take these fights, because when they are taking these fights they are winning them. Like Gridlock did a really good job of getting that entry. It's maybe a case of using that Dokubi to a better effect. Like you just say, look, we're just gonna like execute on the Doki call, just 3, 2, 1, I'm calling, let's just send it. But again, this map is notoriously defender sided. Like a 3-0 scoreline might look like it's not a great place to be, but it's a case of like, if we can just get a couple of rounds here, if we're MolotovGang, then the advantage shifts into our favor once we go to the defensive side. So it'll be interesting to see if we see any adaptations coming in from MolotovGang here. But I'd just like to see them be a little bit more aggressive. Like, if the drone game isn't really working out for you, just double up with each other and just walk at the enemy. I think we need to see a little bit of change of pace from MolotovGang, just so they're a little bit less predictable and they're a little bit less easy to counter. I think that's the main thing we need to see from the side of MolotovGang.
Definitely, and not only on that matter, but also because MolotovGang they have been playing fast all over the championship, so they have been a very much decisive kind of team. They know what they need to do. That's exactly how they have won previously versus other opponents. So that's what they need to do, because whenever, on the other hand, Entropy finds themselves into a spot where they can draw the game, they can make things look longer, they're gonna be doing better. They have proved that in previously broadcasted games, as we know on this very much season number 9. So it's a very, very much of a thing of the timing, the pacing on both sides, how they're going to be playing this one. Hachi already takes Afla down. It's a very, very tough game, like I said, on details. Rise coming against Just. It's going to be good to see this 4v4 to define the round number 4. Hachi versus him. There it is. Gums, this is the most, I would say, the most balanced round we have so far.
Yeah, so far again, it's great work to get the entry kill. It's just a shame it's been traded back so easily as we do into the 4v4, but this is much better from the side of Molotov, as this Gridlock's going to take shots from everywhere. She's left on literally 1 HP, Thicklock being as thick as she is, with that 3 armor saving her on that HP, but these angles being held from Entropy Gaming just providing massively difficult. The Legion shotgun coming in clutch once again. And it's just a case of they managed to push their way into Geisha, but they've left the highway side completely uncontested, and this is where the defending team have realized that they can send a clash to regain this space and to give us more control over the map. There is a yellow ping on the side of the Legions who's tucked away into the corner, as another one's going to fall from the side of Molotov Gaming, as they just seem to be struggling dealing with the aggression that's being played by Entropy, as the kill feed's going to be all orange, as Molotov doing a much better job to find these kills as we move into the execute lane X.
And Rise just arises to the occasion. He's the guy to take all of the MolotovGang players to the end right now, defining things around and helping Entropy to, keep on their steady pace onto winning this first half of the map for Neo. So they are totally giving back to MolotovGang what they have themselves suffered back in Chalet when these teams faced each other. We had a very interesting pack of Bank and Chalet back then during the Swiss phase. So it was pretty much the occasion of MolotovGang defining and dictating the pace. Now that is not happening today, and Entropy, they're knowing what they need to do. And what I most like here, guys, when we come to talk about the operators, is that Entropy Gaming, they're not totally depending on Clash, right? We have been pinpointing that Clash has been a force here, but it's not the case that they depend. They do not rely on one single operator so far. And that's awesome to see that richness when it comes to their loadouts and choices, right?
Yeah, it's just, especially on these top floor bomb sites, it's the combination of the Legion shotgun with the Clash. Like, it's a very different meta to what we see on PC, but it's great to see some innovation coming out from these console teams. It could be that shotguns are a lot stronger on console, but right now, that is the main roadblock, if you like, for MolotovGang. It's how do we push past? You can almost split this map into, especially the top floor, into 3 distinct sections. You have the bomb site itself, whether that's karaoke, or whether it's the office side. Then you have sort of the middle phase, which is the terrace and it's called the shrine, as well as dragon. And then you have the extended geisha side. Basically, have 3 distinct phases that you need to move through. And it's basically a really good job of from Entropy Gaming to contest all 3 phases of the map. So like, it could be a case of, especially for MolotovGang, that maybe we go direct this time. If you see the lineup, I really like what I'm seeing. I'm hoping we send the Buck below. We have the Ying as well as the Capital, which should be really good in terms of forcing the anchors away from wherever they want to be playing. Like, Nomad's done a great job of understanding, like, they're not holding below at all. We can get the entry in here. And this is where I'm hoping they'll bring the Buck as well, as he's just about to go below. We can use this to clear the wall denial, as well as move the anchors around in sight, to hopefully get the objective bomb plant down in the middle of the bomb site.
Well, let's see how that's gonna roll, because definitely MolotovGang, they do need to do more. They need their first round over here. And like you said, a lot of those interesting picks we are going to be seeing from MolotovGang, and they do need like a faster pace. They had obviously Buck didn't stay alive for longer, but they also got nice picks when it comes to the Capital to help onto the planting work precisely and opening the areas. Also Wing, also Nomad. So let's see how they're gonna play this one. I mean, something needs to work for them, right? And it has not been the case so far. It's been a very complicated game to this point. But it's still a 4v4, and I trust that they can find potentially a spot. We see just acquiring information, taking a look, checking on those elbow angles to see if they find someone. But again, Entropy does such a good job on protecting themselves as well, as much as the bomb per se. So the guys are still alive. Only Yuki fell to the ground. We're gonna see a little bit more of an action now when it comes to Trixie facing Hasi. Very taking Shisui down. It was a good combination of encounters here. A 3v2 Entropy again. Strong numbers, and it's just to it.
I was going to say, it would have been a great distraction for the Nomad causing the flashes into the bomb site to try and help the bomb get down, but it's just not worked out as the defense is wise to what was going on. It's just a case of, I think, a little bit of mistiming coming in from MolotovGang. They didn't quite execute maybe into the bomb site with the right 3-2-1 that we spoke about. It was just a case of, I think, different players being in, like, not quite understanding that we're ready to execute. But like, I just like the approach coming in from MolotovGang. Like, we've realized that, like, they're wasting too much time off site and we can't seem to get through utility. Let's go direct. So even though the attack didn't work out great for MolotovGang, I think they had much more success in going direct and hitting the bomb site without the roam clear than actually trying to roam clear all the utility that was being brought by Entropy Gaming.
Absolutely. Entropy looking so strong, right? In this first half of the map. Skyscraper in their hand so far. And I want to see how they're going to be playing on the attacking side as much as I want to see MolotovGang defending. Both teams obviously getting here after a lot of adjustments and a lot of good matches previously on obviously on the first phase of the championship, but also into the playoffs. We have to remember that these two teams, they were amongst the last ones to lock themselves up into the playoffs. So they have struggled so much. They need to keep building, and they need to keep evolving. Actually, like I'm trying to say, because it's still far away from the finals. Entropy looking solid to this point, bringing also a water, right, to protect those roams. It's a good pick. I mean, it's kind of situational for them. They do not usually bring water always when they're defending. They have not needed so far this operator, right, Guns, but that's the case. They're going to bring it up. And also a Wamai on the hands of Arise. It's going to be cool to see how they're going to play all these operators, how this combo is going to work, actually.
Yeah, Lane X, while the replay was going, we did see a blitz on the side of MolotovGang, but they have switched off the blitz. But like, I like the use of the Deimos. We spoke about how they can have operators to bring some additional information. I'm seeing a very aggressive peek coming on this window. But it's a case of, like, it's nice that we now have some operators on this. You're already going to see the ace go down. I don't know where that picture's coming from, but losing, at least Hardwish has done his job. But the kill feed again is all blue. They're losing so many of these opening engagements as we see a third come out without a trade. And unfortunately, this is just a case of, I think, Molotov Gaming are just being outplayed. It seems like the strategies coming out from Entropy Gaming are a little bit more maybe advanced than what MolotovGang are used to seeing. But again, trying to bring some positives out of this, again, being a defender-sided map, we are going to see maybe one entry come back as Warden is going to be down. But I think still safe to say, Lanex, that this round is kind of done and dusted. But again, if the good thing is for MolotovGang, if Entropy can do this on their half, there's nothing to say that they can't do it on their half when they go to defense. Like, it's looking pretty desperate because 6-0 down is pretty tough. Yeah. But trying to give MolotovGang some hope here. For any Molotov people, any Molotov supporters, you'll be praying that Molotov Gaming can do the same as Entropy on their defense as well. If we see 12 rounds of only defensive victories, it'll be insane. Like, if that's what's going to send us to overtime, that will be insane.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you. Now, as we see, Aina just waiting, right? Using the time properly to to have that conversation already, like, moving forward into whatever's gonna happen next. Definitely, he's not even doing those rotational movements that you could see from, for example, Anthony, right? The soccer player from Manchester United. But I'm kidding. We're talking about Rainbow Six here, and it's a 5v1, impossible for Aina to bring down. But again, taking the time and taking the chance to talk about topics here, Guns, it's cool to see definitely how, Entropy, they're looking solid and solid, keeping the guys alive. Even Afla, right? Who was like at first exposed a little bit, lost a little bit of life. He was, and still is alive. So yeah, it's just a matter of the timer coming down to see how the next steps are going to be rolling for MVG, because they're looking terrible here. And they were the team, as opposed to Entropy, MVG, they were the team to win a Skyscraper during the championship so far. Entropy have not performed one single Skyscraper in this competition to this point. So, and even so, they're winning. So that goes to show how much the stats, they matter less than the adjustments, right? And they matter less than whatever your team can do on that very much day of the match itself.
Yeah, the main thing, again, for MolotovGang now is they're moving to the defense. The main thing is just to, like, if you're 6-0 down, everybody's been there. Like, if you're just getting battered, like, you need to, the only thing you can do to give yourselves hope is to try and keep your mental state in a good place. Like, we got a little bit of a tack timeout because it was a 1v4, I believe, in the last round. So I'm hoping MolotovGang have used that time that they had while the Habana was still alive for the captain or the significant role players in the team to be able to talk to their players and be like, look, I know this is bad. Like, I know we've not had a great first half, but, like, we're not out of it yet. Like, this is where champions are made, basically. Like, this is to, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is to fight to get themselves into the playoffs. This is where we see, like, if this team can, like, there's only one way this goes. Either you crumble under the pressure of being 6-0 down, or you rise to the occasion, right? Like, if MolotovGang can show us that they can get a couple of rounds on the board, try and build some momentum, and try and take some of the momentum away from Entropy Gaming, One, it'll be really good for their mental, and it just settles you into the game. Luckily, again, this is a BO3, so like this is not a BO1 where like this is it, it's done, it's game over. Like this could just be that like we don't play this map much, our confidence wasn't great, so like there's a few things going for the side of MolotovGang here. But if you look at the lineup, I like what they're bringing. They've got the Legion to roam. They've brought. It's interesting that Frost has been brought nearly every single round. Pretty sure it's been brought every single round of the map so far. Maybe she's just really strong. The Pogmat's going to be huge to give you a free kill, basically. But yeah, again, coming into this side, we just need MolotovGang to, especially if they don't give away any early picks and they waste the time, just as Entropy did, they could really start snowballing some rounds and make the comeback.
Eventually, yeah. I would say, yes, they have been able at this point, at this round, like to deny time to Entropy Gaming, who are struggling to go ahead. They have Monsi now on the hands of Shisui to try to beat the tank, obviously, and open and lead up the way for his team. As we see some of them, you know, obviously like behind the Monsi, but the defensive efforts have been good. Aina takes Yuki down at this point. As we see now, Rise responding against Just, so it's a good combination also from Entropy to come and show that they are alive. And thanks God for them. Monty is not totally down. He's still able to come to the fight. It's just a matter of not counting on Smoke anymore. And Entropy are going to be the ones to try to breach in. They have all the operators for that, right? They have that kind of full man stack kind of combo to push and be aggressive, as opposed to MVG, who are going to try to deny some of those rooms and spaces. Let's see if they're going to be able to do that. And I like that as Zami on the hands of Aina, right? Because Amigams is going to be able to basically lock himself into the bomb side roam, excuse me. So he's going to be able to deny time even further for Entropy.
Yeah, it's a case of like, as we see the players stacking up here, it's just more and more problems you can bring to the attackers to solve. Like, Zami, even though post-nerf the DMRs do more damage, it's just additional stuff that the attackers have to clear. So like you can see here, I'm not sure oh, he's clear the BP. He's dropped the shield to clear the BP, and it's really good work from the Goyo to make sure he finds a kill there. And this is where like we don't really need to continue contesting this, because Goyo's going to hit a lovely shot to give his team the man advantage. But yeah, the operator lineup, just I really like it from the side of MolotovGang. Like you've got Goyo who can waste so much time as the Ashe is going to fall as well. So you might see one back here, but A-Face can't find anything. But that's a really convincing round for MolotovGang as well. Like they needed a round where like they won in almost a clean sweep. It was almost flawless. Only one body being dropped from the side of MolotovGang. And it's just the Goyo as well as the Azami. It's all about the clock, right? Both of these teams trying to bring as much utility as they can to basically make it as difficult as possible for the attacking team to push into the bomb site. However much, like it's basically layers to your defense, right? At every stage, every section of this particular map, if you can introduce problems for the attackers, it's going to be good for your defense, right? And that's exactly what MolotovGang did, and that's going to be a great round to kick off their defensive half. They've got no rounds to mess around with. They need a flawless half if they want to stay in this map.
Definitely, yes. Entropy, you know, looking pretty much ready to wrap this one up. I guess it's just a matter of, you know, not being anxious, doing whatever they need to do. They're gonna be bringing those very classic operators we have been bantering about for a long time. And from MVG, it's about obviously, you know, using well that Goyo is an amazing operator, for example, for this kind of map where we have a lot of room. So it's you know, it's that combo of denial that MVG are going to be ideally aiming to execute with quality here versus Entropy. But, you know, Entropy, they have done most of the job, as we know, on the defensive half. So it's a matter of basically locking this one up. We see now a Duck be on the hands of Entropy. MVG themselves, they have brought brought previously Duck-Heavy and Jakal to try to gather information, and it helped them to an extent, but it was not amazing yet. So I'm curious to see how Rise is gonna be using this Duck-Heavy, particularly here to potentially win the map with the team. Let's see how.
There's the shields, Lanex.
Oh,
like
yeah.
That's a nice entry kill coming in for MolotovGang to kick off the second round. But it's the shields. We've seen very different approaches from both of these teams. Entropy Gaming on their attack have brought shields both of these attacking rounds. They saw the Monty as well as now the Blitz. So it's interesting to see that one team extremely values these shields even after the nerf they've received this season, and the other team didn't use shields like in any of the rounds that they brought. They were thinking about using a shield then didn't bring it. But like this is, I think, going to be the difference maker for the side of Entropy Gaming on their attack. Like, I think even though the shield nerfs have come in, these operators are still very, very useful in taking this early map control. And it's nice to see that one of these teams have decided to use those. But obviously, the recruit going down early is not going to be helpful for the side of Entry Gaming on their attack. And this is really well played from MolotovGaming as well. They've understood that we've got the opening pick, we can now fall back to site. We don't need to make this any more difficult for ourselves. It's already like a really good bomb site to hold. And let's just fall back and let the attackers sort of take the space, and we'll take the rest of these fights on the bomb site where we can hold our crossfires.
You see how she taking Afla down? 3v5. Entropy losing it, right? They're feeling it. They're feeling the pressure. MVG are playing differently on this defensive moment. Let's see how things gonna go for Shisu. Obviously, you know, defended well protected on that spot. It's bulletproof, as we know. Even though we talked before, there's never time to talk about those things live. But yeah, it's almost the case of a total rework for the shield operators. That's an interesting topic too. But Justice taking everybody down. Double kill by him, and Rise is gonna be the last one. Another disaster, another complicated round for Entropy. Stokebi's not gonna be enough. Hachi just finishes him off. And there it is. We have the second round of the hands of MVG. Was a very cautious, nice pick. Almost going for the body shot after that. But anyhow, 6-2. It's becoming to get maybe complicated for Entropy. Not so far.
I was gonna say it's looking good for
Like,
Molotov
it's
Gaming.
looking good.
It's looking good. Like
Yeah.
these have been two. The last round was flawless. You saw the kill feed was all orange. It's basically a flawless round coming in from the side of MolotovGang, and this is going to be really, really good for their confidence, right? Like you've managed to get two extremely convincing rounds, and your strategies the strategies that you're bringing are just as effective as your opponents, right? So we are going to be moving into the third bomb site, and this is where if we can get a full site rotation, that's where it's going to start looking really difficult for Entropy Gaming. Like we need to see like the tertiary bomb site is normally considered the weakest one,
Yeah.
and this is where we need to see if the Entry Gaming can like either seal the game, or if we get as I said, if they win this map, sorry, excuse me, getting ahead of myself. If Molotov Gaming win this bomb site, then they basically go back to the next two strongest sites on the map, and that's where it starts getting really dangerous. You go from being 6-3 to 6-5 if you somehow don't manage to break the stronger sites. And it'd be interesting to see if Molotov Gang want to hold the upstairs as heavily as Entropy Gaming. That generally is the preferred way to hold this map. You want to hold above the site so you can use the verticality to hold the bomb site itself, and as well as just contest more map control. So yeah, the shield, the traps being sort of crucial picks in this game. Capcan being extremely popular. I know he has an insane ban rate on console, so the fact that he's available, both the teams making full use of the fact that he's available. And then the Frost, I think, still with a 100% pick rate so far. As I like the use of the Brava too. They've spotted there's a Capcan on the board. We're going to be able to hack all of this utility and get really insane value out of this operator. It'd be interesting to see if the defense loses any HP due to all this hacked utility, as they don't seem to have any idea this Brava Cam is infiltrating their ranks and hacking all of the utility on the side of the brawl.
Definitely, it was a very good prep work by Brava, right? Already disabling and obviously bringing that information to Entropy's side, since they're gonna be doing that kind of a two-phase movement, right? It's about like taking the information and disabling and then attacking full on. Since they got a buck, they got a ram. I'm good to see this ram in the hands of Rise. Very creative player as well. Always tough to beat. It's gonna be either, like I said in previous streams, distracting everybody or just opening the floors, obviously, to get that the vertical information. Excuse me, but Trixie already takes Jewett down. He was already a first nice pick. It's a 5v3, so MVG at a tough spot again. Last man alive, excuse me, and Entropy looking very much solid sound.
I want to say all the kills are going Entropy's way as Ram managed to sneak into restaurant, found an opening kill. You saw the hop into the window, find the second in the round to get this round going. I was going to say Frost in a 1v4, it's looking not great for her. She's going to get picked up. And Entropy Gaming are going to pick up the first map. You know, I think it was just a show of their strategy seemed a lot better. The Molotov Gang, they seemed a lot more prepared on their defense. It's just a shame that Molotov Gang, you know, it is the third strongest bomb site. So Entropy Gaming not wanting to take this to overtime, sealing the game out to take us 7-2 in the first map. And this is where Molotov Gang, this is where like it's now at least between the maps. You can go sort of take a breather. You can reset for our second map. Our second map is going to be Cafe. which is also equally as defender-sided. So very interesting to see if we see a repeat of what we just saw on Skyscraper. But again, MolotovGang, like this is for fighting for a spot in the playoffs. So we need to reset our mental here. Like we need to really reset our mental. Be like, look, put that map behind us. Let's move into Cafe, and it could be a case of MolotovGang just not really having the best understanding of how their strategy works on Skyscraper. So hopefully we see some better strategy coming out on Cafe.
Well, let's see how that's going to play out after a break, guys, because, yeah, Cafe Dostoevsky is going to be very interesting. It's going to be awesome to watch, actually, between MolotovGang again and Entropy Gaming, who's going to be starting better, who's going to be managing the development steps of the map itself. But we're going to be checking on that after a quick short break. We're going to be back.
See you after the break.
And back we are, me, Linux, along with M Guns. Let's see what is gonna roll now on the second map. Already rolling a 4v5 here. Apparently, M Guns, which is favorable to MVG, excuse me, since Entropy is not gonna be able to bring Afla apparently into the game at this point, at least. Up for them,
yeah,
right?
just give some apologies from our end. Players as well as tech had some tech difficulties, but we are back. So just to give everybody an update on what's going on, if Entropy, they've already used their tech timeout to sort of resolve his issues. So he managed to join back into the game, which is a good start. But if he keeps leaving, they've already used their tech rehost to fix his issues. So fingers crossed for the side of Entropy. Again, they're up 1-0 in the series, and this is now their map as well. So they would ideally like to have all 5 players available in the lobby. So they can actually close this game out. But yeah, it's a very important thing to touch on that this is our Entropy's map pick. They managed to take MVG's map pick 7-2, in really convincing fashion. They took that map pick, and so now they're going into ideally, their preferred map. So hopefully MVG can come out swinging and also take advantage of the 4v5 in this first round.
Absolutely. It's going to be their chance, right? Their window for that. Since, like you said, we have seen a very interesting first map, totally shredded away by Entropy. And MolotovGang, they try to bounce back at the very last round, but it was just impossible. So, like you said, we saw a 7-on-2 rounds favorable to Entropy Gaming. Already something different from whatever we saw in the first encounter between these teams in the season, since they have, been up to like a 7-4 on rounds, both going to a Molotov back then. But talking about this game today, Vario already takes Yuki down, so it's a 5v3 now favorable to MolotovGang, as we see Hachi already falling down and rappelling down into the stairs. He's gonna try to rotate. Also, Vario trying to gather this information. It's Rise now coming on the side of Entropy. Trixie also having this info. It's gonna be complicated anyways for them. So let's see, hopefully for them, right? Guns. Afla is gonna be able to get back to the game during the map itself.
Yeah, but this is much better from MolotovGang. They've already managed to, I know it's been a 5v4, but they found the first entry as well. But something to touch on is that Entropy have gone to reading first. Generally, this is considered the tertiary bomb site, especially on a map like Cafe. We've seen initial engagement come in, C4 will go out. Will not find anything, as this mute is now basically being pinched out, and they will find him. But yeah, as I was saying, like, this is normally the third bomb site of choice. It used to be top floor, basement, and then to the site. Recently, there's been a little bit of a meta shift where, because top floor is almost like CCTV on Clubhouse, everybody knows how to attack it, everybody knows how to play it. We've seen a lot of teams prefer not to use that top floor site. That's going to be a clean round for MolotovGang as they find all the players and find the round, but very interesting that Entropy wanted to go to reading first as their first bomb site of choice.
Absolutely. They were totally taken away. Obviously, not having one additional defender is going to change the landscape for Entropy Gaming here. And MolotovGang, like you predicted, they took this chance. They used this opportunity to smash this first round down, attacking fully. And yeah, flawless round. So far, not losing one single player, guys. We're totally going to be seeing this very interesting game going into map 2 as an interesting follow-up of whatever happened in Skyscraper, because things are different now compared to whatever we saw before in the season. Like I said, a pretty even pack of maps back then in the Swiss phase. Now this is not what is happening. Entropy, they massively won the first map. Now going for the second chance here with Afla back. So apparently he is up for the work now with the team. Let's see if he's gonna be, back also on the focus with the team. Tough for him, right? Some logistical issues and challenges, but there it is. Let's see if the game's gonna get back to a more natural and more competitive level here. Guns. It's the first round for Afla, and we're gonna go now into the action phase again for the second round.
Yeah, this is our first, what do you call it, even round, if you like. This is the first proper round of the game. The first round is a little bit of a write-off coming in for Entropy because it was a 4v5. But this is a great opportunity to talk about the bans. As we jump straight into this game, you can see from the side of Entropy, that's a great kill once it's spawn peak. Vigil's not going to find anything. But very interesting that Entropy Gaming have banned the shields. It was their own bans. Basically, Entropy Gaming have banned the monsters as well as the Clash. Those two operators being brought basically every single round on the defense. So it's interesting that those operators are no longer available to either team. So Clash we saw excessive use of on Skyscraper, so that's pretty much a target ban. I've got a feeling those bans are the wrong way around, as I think it's a target ban from the side of Molotov Gaming to ban the Clash, because you saw how many people used it. You saw how well Entropy Gaming used that Clash on their own defense. Another thing to mention is the Bravo ban. I think is another target ban. A lot of operators being brought in here to basically be counter picks against what the other team was bringing.
And interestingly, when we talk about the shield operators, it's about, for Entropy, it's about slowing down the game, right? And here in the series itself as a whole, trying to not have to deal with those kind of operators that, usually help you a lot into moving inside of the map and obviously helping your mates to be behind you and bring the damage from a backline. So that's not going to be possible or able for both sides here in Café Dostoyevsky. As we see already, second round rolling, arises in the ground as we see the Entropy Gaming player not alive. Now Yuki down to the ground, and Hachi was the man to take him down. It's going to be tough for Entropy to build this equalizer because Sushi is also taken here at the stairs. Shisui, facing a hard time, and Afla comes to try to save the team versus Vario. Nice bullet, nice movement versus 4 players coming into the train's room to try to get closer to the bomb itself, or whatever the players from Molotov are. But Hachi again being a very, very strong player, and decisive and defining at these last seconds of the round. So fantastic work by him to keep MolotovGang ahead again. 2-0 for them.
Yeah, that's a really, really good round for Molotov Gaming. And again, this is Entropy's map, so they got to choose the side they wanted to start on. And they chose to start on, very convincingly, is the more difficult side. So, it is the more difficult side to play, and they've already managed to get 2 rounds so far. The first round being a little bit gifted, as we spoke about earlier. But that was a clean attack coming in from MolotovGang. This is much, much better from this map. Much better performance on this map from MolotovGang, as they went 0-6 on the previous map. So it seems like they must have been scrimming this map a lot more. They're a lot more confident on how they want to attack this map compared to Skyscraper, and it's really good to see. I think we're gonna have a real game on our hands here because MolotovGang have got, they're performing much better. Their attacks look a lot cleaner. They're getting these entry picks, and that's what we wanted to see.
Absolutely. Molotov needing to make a statement here and show us that they're still able to face Entropy Gaming on an equality basis. Aiming potentially into the third map, which will be Consulate, will be awesome also to be seen, right? Will be kind of similar, let's say, to Café Dostoyevsky when it comes to the size and the notions on space, but obviously a different landscape and scenario. Let's see how things gonna be rolling, because Entropy Gaming, like I said before, they like to draw on the game. They like to make it longer to try to get back on track, while MolotovGang are gonna be going for the faster, decisions potentially. And Ash already aiming into that window. We have also Aina. This is, Aina, this is the guy to pick the bullet from out, right? He's the man to do that early pick and already put his team into a better number opportunity here.
I was gonna say, it's really great usage of the Twitch drone. C4 will come out, put Ace onto 1 HP, tagging the feet of the players he runs away. But it's great use of the Twitch drone. Twitch drone's just driven straight through bar, found one of the mirrors. We have got the Ash as well to be able to clear the other mirror in bathroom, as you saw earlier. And a little bit of a much slower start to this round coming in from MolotovGang. Looks like we are going for a pretty default take. We want to take shop, we want to take cigar, and then we want to basically push our way. It's a great kill onto the Goyo, downing one player into C3. As the entry goes the way again, once again, to MolotovGang. But yeah, it's a pretty standard routine take as they clear basically from the new hatches across to put pressure. They are going to actually get the res onto the Goyo. I'm not sure how they found that. Goyo will manage to get away for his, basically get away with his life. But yeah, a very routine attack coming in from the side of Molotov.
Definitely, yeah, doing a good job. Aina taken down. Usually, well, previously we have seen Skyscraper him defeating opponents at first, but now not able to do that. As you said, Entropy coming also and dealing the damage. Vario taking Yuki down. It's gonna be intro entry here, intro entrance by Duet, but he was seen by Afla, who has not only been able to get back to the game, but coming back on a strong note, helping the team a lot. This is a 3v3. It's gonna be potentially good for Afla. He sees the bullets coming up, so it's a matter of getting close to the bomb area itself. Double kill by Vario. He's also a very good player for MolotovGang. Such a helper, such a strong guy.
Oh, what is that?
Making rise down, and it's gonna be just to be overly taken down and defeated. Excuse me. It was tough for him to stay alive anyhow, Guns. So we're gonna go to the replay to see whatever happened here.
Yeah, Twitch hit some amazing shots to win the team for, win the round for her team. Like the one onto Goyo, that is filthy. Like we are playing on console as well. To hit flicks like that is insane. I thought Goyo being boosted on the countertop would have like the advantage by playing an off angle, but Twitch was like having none of it. That's a great shot from the Twitch, but it just seems like Molotov Gaming have got much more confidence on this map. Like we spoke about earlier, how we wanted to see them get aggressive, we wanted to see them pushing into the map, and that's exactly what Molotov Gaming are doing. They're walking in like with really good confidence, and it's paying off really well for them. They're taking these fights, they want to get active, and you know they're believing in their gun skill. Like you just saw Twitch hit some crazy shots to open up the entries for her team. And this is much better. Like it's just, I think the confidence, and this is what Molotov Gaming needed as well in terms of their mental state. Like this is again Entropy's map, and they've already taken 3 attacks on what's generally considered a defending-sided map. So far they're doing really well, and this is where Entropy Gaming maybe attack timeout at 4-0 down might be really useful just to get themselves settled. But it seems like they're just getting the momentum is completely in Molotov Gang's favor right now.
Definitely, yes. They are feeling the moment. They are the team to come and to make a statement, like I said, and be back on track, and also give back to Entropy whatever they have themselves suffered in the first map, right? It was such an override by Entropy at first, and now they're being able to reply to that. Let's see. Again, the efforts to come up from the top and repelling already being executed by Duet. They have been doing great, right? Into falling down and finding those hatches and getting inside of the map. MolotovGang, such a good start for them so far versus Entropy. And Entropy, again, trying to bring some operators that we have already seen back then, like Meluzi. It's gonna be kind of new into this series. She was not brought to the occasion. MolotovGang, on the other hand, repeating some picks, so the teams are pretty much using those standard picks and choices on operators side of things, as we see already some droning by MolotovGang as well. So it's gonna be maybe a more even round. What do you say, Guns, since Entropy?
I was gonna say that the main problem from the side of MolotovGang is to deal with this shop player. So you can see Mute is tucked away into the shop, and I've got info on him as well. This is it's a smoke actually, not a Mute this time. Normally you bring the Mute to deny the info on the fact that you're playing in there. But these castle barricades and the whole setup is to basically play very aggressive. I like this from Entropy Gaming, but they are going to give away first pick elsewhere as the frost has been found, but the smoke is still prone. I think they've got info. There's another guy, Shaiko, as Rising do a great job of covering his teammate in the shop, but this is a really good extension from Entropy Gaming. They've extended to hold more of this map control, as they're going to find a second somewhere else. The man advantage now going to the side of Entropy Gaming, and they just haven't been able to clear this shop extension. For those of you watching, you can find this player, as he is gonna. They should see him here. There's no way they haven't seen. Yeah, there you go. Bro, you can see him, and that's gonna be a freebie. As they will find the player in shop, which is really good to see. But again, the extension has done its job, right? You've wasted like a good 2 minutes 20 on the clock. and this should put the rest of their team in a really favorable advantage for the last 45 seconds of this round.
Yes, that's been the case of a very good round for Entropy Gaming, like you said, wasting that time from MolotovGang. MolotovGang, on the other hand, gonna be trying to roam to find, like Hachi just did against Afla. Nice bullet, he was able to make that one happen, and suddenly bringing, you know, their numbers again to their side. So it's gonna be maybe better for them to have this advantage. Let's see how Yuki is gonna play this one. Rise took Hasi, but was actually traded out right after by Eine. So Yuki's gonna be the last one to tell the story. He's rolling with his castle almost. Oh man, I wonder if you're gonna, you know, if you could have waited a little longer, I don't know, to have a better chance and view about the opponent. But Yuki finished this one off with a double kill. So it was a nice wrap again. Yuki being very, very, very important for the team in many occasions. Entropy finally finding their point over here.
Yeah, they're now on the board. You finally grabbed one of your defenses, and it's just that time scramble. The extension coming out from Entropy Gaming, as we spoke about mid-round, has just worked really, really well. Like, that is exactly what we wanted to see, is you're playing more aggressive. I know he did get found later, but that time scramble is what's just got Entropy Gaming their first defensive win. So it's nice that they've gone back to top floor, they've played an extension, and that aggression has just worked out really well for them. So once our replay is over, let's see what and we're finally going to see a kitchen as well. This is the first time in this map that we've seen kitchen being played, and it looks like from the side of Entropy Gaming, we're going to have a full bunker setup. This is very common because of the verticality on this this bomb site, especially. You can either win the round by roam clearing and wasting the attacker's time by roaming and forcing them to roam clear, or you can go with this approach, which is to extend all across the first floor by holding the VIP side as well as bakery. It basically means that when the attackers work all of that verticality, which is exactly what MolotovGang is looking to go for, they've got the Buck as well as the Ram to work that verticality after they roam clear with the Jackal. The idea is that they can't actually get into the bomb site. If you try and drop the freezer hatch, they can hold that drop from VIP, so it forces you to have to clear VIP after you've taken like 2 minutes to clear third floor and second floor. And it's a very, I prefer this style of play. It's not making it complicated. You're going to basically bunker on the bomb site and basically say, come and fight us. Like, we're going to give you second and third floor, do all the verticality you want, but we're going to be waiting for you on the ground floor on the bomb site.
Absolutely, good analysis. I would say MolotovGang, they got a nice shot here when it comes to yeah, making that vertical work go to their side, as opposed to Entropy Gaming, who are gonna have to be patient, especially since they got on their hands Melusi, which is pretty much a slow punishment kind of operator. Also with Water, right, to be kind of stacked up at a position and see the opponents coming up. Doc for the resistance element of things. So yeah, it's a lot of factors to come into motion here, since MolotovGang are still leading the pack with 3-1 versus Entropy, and Entropy finally coming into the map. Maybe it's not too late for them. I would say it's gonna be a long one, maybe potentially with an overtime, which will be very interesting for the series as a whole. We see Hachi moving and trying to get that information. Jackal and Dokebi, again, the duo of information. Look at what Ram already did, right? Totally breaking apart and yeah, offering that information that's gonna be key potentially for Molotov.
Yeah, this is the problem. As we move into the mid-round, like, this is where we need to make a decision. Like, the hatch hasn't got open yet. I'm just looking on the side of, we have got a hard breach gadget to open this hatch. So this is where, if we are MolotovGang, we need to decide where our execute's going to come from. We now want to pivot and try and clear the bakery players. It looks like we are gearing up for a freezer take. We're basically working all of this vertical on the freezer side, so that way we can then push the coffee machine and try and get the bomb down on that side of the map. That looks like to see the execute we're going for. We're going to have to see how this round actually plays out. But MolotovGang are going to try and drone down into this bottom floor, but really we need to now start picking which way we're going to go. We need to start committing bodies to like one of these executes, or we can either just send everybody somewhere, as that's a great kill coming in from MolotovGang, as they've got the info on site, but to figure out how they want to get in. But it looks like we're gearing up for a freezer take. And this VIP shield, this is going to be the win condition for Entropy. If this Warden can deny this hatch and entry into the bomb site, they win the round. If the orange team and the attackers can find a team a way around this, then they win the round. I think that's what it's going to come down to in the last 20 seconds.
Yes, just as you say, I know taking Trixie down, and it's gonna be tough and tougher for Entropy, losing the Water. Let's see which line of effect is going to be actually be turned into reality. Because now also the response comes from Entropy with Yuki taking Aina down. 3v3, now 3. I don't know what is happening just and Duet. These guys are just definers. They just absolutely smashed the last seconds of the round. Amazing work again. The response is coming. I would say the adjustments are happening from one side to the other. So MolotovGang also looking solid in the first portions of the round, in the middle portion as well. So, but in the end was tough for them because it's tough when you do not move around together. But at the very last minutes, we had those three players on their side alive. So MolotovGang looking solid. 4 versus 1 is everything they wanted, right, for the second map.
Yeah, this is a really good split coming out from MolotovGang. And the other thing to mention is we spoke about how they were going to deal with the player in VIP and in dining to stop the drop. Why deal with him like with utility when you can literally just drop the hatch and shoot him in the face? So it's a huge gunfight from the ace to be able to win that. Just get the entry onto the wooden, and that's what's allowed the entry into the bomb site of kitchen. So by killing that one player, and basically that was the win condition, right? If you deal with that player and aces just hit like a great, you just win the gunfight. If you win the gunfight, just go straight up and shoot him on the drop. It's a great engagement to win, and that's what's caused them to win the round. So yeah, really well played from the side of MolotovGang. This is like a completely different team lane to what we were seeing from Skyscraper. Like the confidence that this team is showing, especially after they lost 7-2 on their own map pick, is really good. Like they dug deep, and whatever their coach said to them, or whatever the team captain said, has really inspired this team. So that way, they're just playing really well. So the map is looking really good from the side of MolotovGang so far, and we are going to see a replay back to reading. This seems to be the preferred site for Entropy Gaming, so it'd be good to see if we can actually see them hold on to this bomb site, because so far it's not been working out for them.
Yeah, Entropy, they have had very nice defensive rounds and games, especially on maps like Night Haven and back previously into the championship. So they could pretty much showcase this now. Like I said, it's a new moment, so let's see what can they do actually with also a lot of comfortable picks. I'm talking about obviously like Legion and Goyo. These are picks that Entropy love to bring to the championship. Let's see if they're going to be able to help them to bring this equalizer compared to MolotovGang. We see Joe already waiting here at the top floor, so already expecting, for the moment and waiting for the chance to come out on top. But it's still the case, Gans, of like longer round, right? Wouldn't you say these teams are like playing safer lately, and taking longer time, longer amount of time to lose and run and be exposed?
Yeah, so you can see that like from the side of Entropy Gaming, they've already backed up at a cocktail. There's nobody on C1. They're all stacked up around C2 and C3. And this just comes down to how well MolotovGang can read into it. Like the info game is what's causing them to put so much pressure, and that's gonna be a great opening kill onto the Twitch. But like they're playing this smart. Like they're only holding the top floor to basically waste time. And you can see that their extension this time around, because they've not conceded any bodies, they've wasted 2 minutes just by having that phantom pressure on the top floor. Valkyrie might find a really cheeky kill through the hatch here if this player pixel extends too far. But this is much better from Entropy Gaming. We've given away no picks, and we've safely fallen away from the top floor. And this is where you are giving up the verticality, you are letting you're inviting the pressure from above. As Mirror is going to challenge, also not the Mirror, but the player below is going to challenge this vertical. But this is where, again, it's the same as before. Now that you have this top floor, what is your win condition? What gets us into the bomb site and gets this bomb down? And that's what we need to see coming in from MolotovGang. We need to see them use this verticality to clear the key positions and then try and force the execute. Nomad almost taking your head taken off as we move into the last 20 seconds.
Definitely. We see Trixie now. Shisui taking opponents down. Hachi responding. And Shisui does like that, evolves even more for a double kill. It's going to be just Aina, the last one against Afla. And I was going to point that out, guys. Entropy Gaming, again, doing a fantastic job into holding positions, waiting and wasting the timer. Where MolotovGang should be the one seizing the moment here and seizing the pace especially. But Entropy did a good job now on waiting and bullet trading at the proper moment. So 4-2 now for MolotovGang. It's a completely different Cafe Dostoyevsky, isn't it? Compared to the start, to the beginnings. Entropy, they are, looking solid. Like you said, it's more of whatever they have been doing nicely since the first map. So these guys are very, very good, and Trixie especially and Shisu, they have been traders on this map.
Yeah, it's just the confidence, I think, from MolotovGang. Like, they've come into this deciding, look, we're not going to go out easy. Like, we need to take our time to, we need to get back into this series. And getting a 4-2 split on Cafe is a great result, in my opinion. Like, what's generally in a meta where the defenders have the bias in competitive, this is an amazing start. So, like, MolotovGang, again, this is Entropy's map pick, so they chose to start attack, and you can see why. Like, it's worked out really, really well for them. And now they should be able to close, well, going off the statistics of this being a defender-sided map, they should be able to close out this map on the stronger side. But we are going to see the Blackbeard rework in a competitive game, which is awesome to see. So I'm very, very happy that we have a Blackbeard on the side of Entropy Gaming, on the side of MolotovGang. I'm getting myself confused. On the side of Entropy Gaming, they have chosen to bring the Blackbeard on the attack, which I love to see. Interesting to see if that is now a viable option as part of this execute. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, it looks like a very standard attack coming in from the side of Entropy Gaming as well. They're going for pretty much looks like a top floor hold, as a jump out is going to take Rise off the board, and that is also the Blackbeard. So we're actually going to see very little of how useful that operator is, because that spawn peak is going to take Blackbeard off the board.
Yes, interestingly, right? Like you said, a Blackbeard that was immediately taken down to the ground. And interestingly, Entropy, banning the shield operators, but bringing Blackbeard. Are they going to be bringing also Scopus? I know it's not totally fully kind of field operator, but it helps you, right? With the protection, with information. So it could be the case of Entropy bringing also that operator to surprise and try to, mess around with MolotovGang's mindset here. But they have already lost one of their players. Like we said, Rise, not feeling so strong this night, especially he's not being so strong to stay alive and help the team further. That's why he's got a 2-7 as a KD, which is terrible, especially when you're looking into a high-level competitive match like this one. The MolotovGang now, full and strong, going with the 5 guys and trying to just wait for the right picks, right?
What a headshot!
It would be
that's a nice shot.
So get this one.
Yeah, and that's a great shot to even up the man count. But the main problem is now these mirrors, right? Like, we've seen Ash use both of her Ash charges on various bits of utility, and Mirror, especially on Cafe, is such an influential operator. You can see the amount of information this Mirror is going to have on when this push comes in from the attacking team. Like, they need to get into the bomb site, try and get this bomb down, but these angles, there's a little bit of an overpeak coming in from the defense. As Flores is pushed deep and find his way into the middle of sight, as he finds himself too, and we're moving into a 2v1, as one guy is going to stop the bleeding to leave Ash in a 1v2.
It's going to be complicated for him. Yes. Just Aina and Just versus Shisui. He's got the diffuser, and especially now, MolotovGang are going to have to be patient, but also decisive, and I would say accurate here. He's rotating and trying to get that information. He feels he's alone. He was, oh my god, he was seen actually Trixie being traded out, and was tough for him in the end. So MolotovGang looking strong and strong, finding this one as well on guns. Nice job by the team. These guys are so close to the victory, and to be fair, that would kind of, look, I would say, more fair than anything else compared to whatever they have been producing so far.
Yeah, it was, they how do you say, Entropy Gaming almost managed to save the round. Flores almost got huge for his team, finding a couple of the slight anchors, but then the ace being traded back, caused the 2v1 to send MolotovGang into the advantage 5-2. And this is where I think if I'm Entropy Gaming, I need to take a tack timeout. Like, we're now 3 rounds down with the odds stacked against us. We need to, like, kind of, as we said about Molotov Gaming in the first map, we need to start snowballing some rounds if we want a chance back into this game. Like, momentum is a huge thing in these games, and as we spoke about for Entropy Gaming, they had all the momentum. Molotov Gaming are now running away with the momentum for them. So this is where you can just take a tag timeout. It gives you a chance to have a breather, lets you sort of collect your thoughts, let the captain sort of boost the mentality in the team. And this is where like it's again, it's the same story as Skyscraper. It's not either of these teams are playing that badly. It's just that one team's just playing better. Like it's just a case of we are like the stronger side on. It's weird that it's on the other team's map pick. I would have thought the confidence would have been on your own map pick. So that's very interesting to see that both of these teams showing up on their opponent's map pick more than their own. But it's just a case of like, if we're Entropy Gaming, we just need to sort of slow down and realize we're maybe going too fast. We're not really like we're just giving away these entries too quickly. So we need to just kind of chill out and see how we can find entries ourselves rather than giving away those opening picks.
Right. I agree with you. I think it's more the case of, adjusting those points and making less mistakes than your opponent. So, that you can path things out in a nice way until the end. MolotovGang 5-2 on rounds. And as for them, they're bringing a very, very standard kind of defensive, a bunch of operators. They love these combos, especially with Frost, Echo, and Goyo. They have done this before. That's how they win a lot of rounds. That's how they have won against actually other opponents. So it's gonna maybe look better for them to coordinate them like they did before eventually. And for Entropy, a nice and loud combination, right, with Dokkaebi and Ron. So I'm curious to see how they're gonna be doing this one. And also if Entropy are gonna be, doing things gradually, or if they're gonna go for a blasty kind of attack plan to catch MolotovGang off guard. I don't know, but the vert work is already being done and getting taken care of by Yuki here, moving around with his buck. See what else he can do. Shisui. Again, Shisui has been such a force for the team, right? What a player. I am very, very happy to see him at this level, making the holes with Yuki. So, yeah, they're prepping the terrain here and guns to try to catch the guys. Upload taking Virio down. So, yeah, looking solid for them so far.
Yeah, this is a great attack as they find the opening pick as well. But it's very... MolotovGang are bringing the same defensive strategy as Entropy Gaming. They're basically fully bunkering down onto this bomb site, and they're now looking to do this freezer execute. They've got the buck who's clearing, it's called Coffee or Bunker, which is the left side of the bomb chassis, as well as Sinks, which is right below where the ram is now. There is a player in VIP, we spoke about this before on the other team's attack. You have to deal with this VIP player. He's got a shield as well, and the question is can we clear this? The Ace is a great use of the utility, which is going to get shot off straight away. But can we use the sound of that to basically push this smoke out of position? There is no Warden here this time, so we can use some flashes. As Warden has dropped into Freezer as well as this execute comes in. And that's going to be the diffuser dropped as well on the side of the Ace. Ace maybe not realizing that he had the case. This is going to be a big problem now as somehow the blue team is finding the picks elsewhere. The Smoke's going to keep holding this diffuser down. He's in a 1v2. And can he find the trade? Oh, the timing is not going to go his way. Smoke had the case, almost managed to clutch it out. Ram, finding his man is going to give Entropy Gaming their third round in this match.
That was amazing, wasn't it? Because Molotov, they were looking very solid and very strong, but then like Entropy finding those bullets and kills and dealing more damage than Molotov. That's how they got to the third round over here. And guys, we have to remember that Cafe Dostoyevsky, excuse me, English not fantastic today, has been won by MolotovGang 3 times this season, Guns. So, they know what they're doing, they know the movements, they know the map itself, they have showed a very nice level of gameplay so far at this map. So Entropy, they just need to bring, that into consideration when it comes to trying to, surprise them. They cannot just take the traditional routes and expect for MolotovGang to fall into them. So I would say Entropy are going to have to be the most creative in this match and series that they have been so far in the season. Try to catch the guys, like I said, off guard and not expecting for a certain peak. That could change the game for them, as opposed to, just following things naturally for Molotov, for example. Molotov could, like I said, try to, on the other hand, also be creative and already wrap this one up without allowing the overtime for Entropy.
Yeah, this is a case of if we're Entropy Gaming on our attack, we don't want to let MolotovGang get onto match point. This is a case of we're 5-3 up. If we can make it 5-4, we're right back in the game. There's a huge difference for your mentality to be between 5-4 down as well as 6 and compared to being 6-3 down. This is sort of like a pivotal round, if you like. This is where like either we're going to see MolotovGang take the match point, and it's going to become very, very difficult for Entropy to get back into it, or Entropy are going to grab this by the horns, grab the ball by the horns, and sort of put massive pressure. And I love the fact that MolotovGang have brought a bandit and a Cade to sort of delay the pressure on this reading bomb site. They're going to find one of the Valk cams early. The main problem is going to be is if we want to open anything, everything's going to have protection on it. This is the first time we've seen this heavy wall denial been brought via the side of MolotovGang. But if you see from the side of Entropy Gaming, they have identified this and brought the EMPs. So luckily we have the right tools to be able to deal with this utility. But as we spoke about in the previous map, it just creates more problems, right? But some really nice entry work coming in here is they're already looking to clear Cocktail. Recruit is sneaking his way up this inner bar, round trash. The info is going to come in that Malusi as well as Bandit are holding this top floor. And now it's a case of just how do we clean these players out of Cocktail and take this top floor completely.
Yes, for Entropy, that's going to be the challenge. But now, for MolotovGang, on the other hand, it's going to be how can they intercept and disable? Because that's, you know, that's why precisely they have picked Castro Bandit and Kaid especially. This combination is all about interception. And of course, not only to say with Valk, but Rise already took 2 players down. It was an amazing pack of kills by him to try to bring this equalizer. MolotovGang now feeling totally outnumbered. Duet was able to get and catch Shisu in his last pick. We're talking about now potentially even moment of the round as Virile is already taking a look at that aisle. We have also Aina. Aina has been falling in the last rounds, but it's still a very strong player when it comes to the stats as well. 9-5. Duet taking Afla down 3v3. So, like I said, a balanced amount of trades.
These are huge flanks, Lane. Like,
Aina.
the Bandits just got 2 to bring the round back. And then Castle's found another one and completely shifted the round. Like, it's just a little sloppy from Entropy Gaming, as it was really well played on the flank as well. Like, they made the Castle making noise. He's gone huge. As Malusi's going to find out. It's just really well played. Like, they just didn't have any flank watch, unfortunately. But it's the audio from the Castle to shoot at Pixel, just to make it seem like he's falling off, and then Bandit snuck up in the process. To have the game sense to be like, look, can you cover my audio? To tell your teammate, look, we're down in man count, I need to get aggressive, can you make some noise to cover me? Is just an amazing piece of teamwork to send MolotovGang to match point. Like, that looked like a really, really good round for Entropy, as you said, because your favorite guy, Rise, has found a couple of entries, and then it's all just shifted back towards MolotovGang due to the flank.
Absolutely. Now it's about closing this one. MolotovGang finding that round. Again, 6-3, it's like I said, it's about doing the standard, so maybe that's why they're gonna go for a Mira, for an Azami. Wouldn't you say, like, locking positions instead of rolling so much around the map, but staying like more put? Frost as well, so nice combinations, nice picks, I would say, from Molotov. And from Entropy, we're going to be seeing that necessity, that need for a breach in power, again, for some aggressiveness to try to reopen this conversation. It's looking far behind for Entropy, I don't know, but eventually they could have a chance. They have been like being better on trading and on fighting, I would say. The MolotovGang have been doing a better job into defending. Of course, the map helps, and it's a very, very much defended map, as we know, Cafe Dostoyevsky. So 6-3 now, an exciting rob of a map, leading us potentially to a third map, right?
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to go to a map 3 unless Entropy Gaming really get something together here. But the Azami and the Mirror, these are like huge operators to defend this top floor. It's very interesting that like we saw a clash in a friend rear ban. Normally, like the Azami and the Mirror are sort of the primary bans. And I think in this round we're going to see exactly why. Like Azami causes such a problem for defending this stage area. There's just a lot of stuff to deal with. I don't think we've got any DMRs. We haven't got the Doki DMR, which is now a much more viable counter than having to use explosives, which is what previously was the case. But I like the combination of bringing the mute as well. Like, we basically understood that Flores is a major counter that a lot of offenses bring. So combining the Azami with the Mirror, with the Azami is just just the first stage of the attack, and just one problem out of a few that the defense have brought. Like, the Mirror is going to be the second one. Even if we use the Ash charges to clear this position, then we're not going to have any left for the Mirrors. And that's a great entry work coming in from the Azami to find one on the windows, I believe. So that's going to open up the kills for MolotovGang, as they are now in a 5v4 advantage, with only a minute and a half left on the clock.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them. And yes, like you said, and a very interesting pair of operators that usually, at least at the start of the season, they were banned frequently, but now totally open for usage by Molotov in this round. Specifically, we see a 4v3 now. Tough for Entropy to respond to this one, since Trixie is already pretty much down on life, so he's not going to be able to help too much from now on. It's going to be up to Apla and Rise to bring the game back on track. Let's see whatever's going to happen now. It's going to depend on how Molotov are positioned and also how Entropy can attack together. The Dokkaebi calls came up, Afla taken, Rise as well. It's going to be just a matter of finding Trixie and finishing him off. That's what Jewett does. Nice work, and there it is. We already have the drop of the game. So Guns was much predicted, so MolotovGang making this one.
Yeah, this is crazy stuff. You know, both of these teams taking their opponent's map pick, but just something to point out in that last round is one of the Flores drones got stuck in a mute jammer. He then shot the mute jammer, reactivating the Flores drone, and then that's caused him to move and smoke to basically pick up a free kill, which is really exciting, which is really interesting. Which is a little bit of a tech there, causing a little bit of chaos, but this is a really well played map coming in from I want to say MVG. Yes, that's correct. You know, they made a comeback on their opponent's map to send us to a map 3. So we've got a very, very exciting final map coming up for you once we have the players ready into the next map. But yeah, this is this is what we wanted to see, right? This is where champions are made. They could either crumble or they could get it together, and it's nice to see that they've bounced back from that 7-2 loss on their own map pick.
Definitely. I love to see how MolotovGang are repeating the story here. Like they did, like I said, this season against Entropy Gaming into Charlotte. They have done such a great job defending, and now they have just done that again onto Cafe Dostoyevsky, defending and using the defensive side of things mostly to define the rest of the map, equalizing on the series as a whole, guys, as we're going to be moving into the third map, but just after the breaks. Stay with us. We're going to be right back.
Yeah, see you soon.
Yeah. So we're back, guys. Let's go for the third map, Consulate. Entropy Gaming versus MolotovGang. I'm Lanex along with Guns. Man, it's been quite a journey, right? I mean, all the expectations we could have from previous matches, they were totally reversed. So stats are not working here. Let's look into how this third and last chapter is going to happen already with the bans.
Yeah, so like we are moving into Consulate again. Same story as the last 2 maps, unfortunately, for all you guys watching. It is also defender favored once again. Like this, all 3 maps. This is probably the most defender favored maps in the pool. I think especially coming from off the Montreal Major. I know that's on PC. We're on console, but I was trying to bring in some of those stats that it's like 60% defender favored, so it's like heavily balanced towards the defense.
Yeah.
Very interesting to see the Grim ban. I like this ban coming in from the side of MolotovGang. Grim is a great, I like to call them enabling operators. So ops like Grim, Capital, Ying, they're all your execute focused operators. So by taking one of those operators away from the attacking team can really aid in your defenses. And as well as Grim being massively useful on the CEO execute. A lot of teams will almost cheese rush a CEO plant, or you can work a buck below to sort of, in a slower paced way, make a CO plant happen. And Grim is sort of pivotal in making that happen. So not having that operator available sort of provides the attack to have to sort of rethink how they want to get the bomb down on a CO take. But just generally speaking, Grim is a great operator when it comes to those executes. To clear people out of places and sort of make sure people can't swing things. He's a great operator. See him banned is really, really cool from the side of MolotovGang. As well as it's very interesting. We saw this in the last map as well. Entropy Gaming have banned Clash twice after like abusing the Clash on Skyscraper. So yeah, like very, very interesting decisions to ban probably the op that gave them the most success on defense. So yeah, some very interesting bans coming out as we start off this game on Consulate.
No, yeah, it's so cool to see this standard, and I'm eager to understand what is behind this pattern because, yeah, like you said, Entropy taking, I guess, Monty and also Clash down or off considerations in the previous maps. Now it's not. It's a matter of Blitz and also Clash, and yeah, they apparently don't like to deal with the kind of pressure. Gonna be dealing with a different kind of MolotovGang squad on that matter. So, and MolotovGang taking Mira and Grim out of considerations as well. So, good to see their pick on that. And like I said, no Captain, no Grim, so no support to planting as well from either side. It's gonna be cool to see how they're gonna be playing this one with other operations such as Demos coming to the series for the first time. So let's see how he's gonna be explored by MVG following into Consulate as we move into the action phase. And it's going to be a matter of how they're going to be pursuing and chasing the opponents down in this last chapter, like I said, of the series.
Yeah, we can see here that, like, from the side of MolotovGang on the attack, we've decided to go for an admin take. The problem is, though, you've got Goyo below who's denying the entry into Visa. As I say that, Gamos finds the Legion who was extended into this Archives position. He finds the guy who's hanging around Break Room. This admin area normally is a real pain to get an entry pick into, but they've managed to do that. So the start of this admin take going really, really well for the side of MolotovGang. The only problem with this kind of take is the vending machine hallway. You can see they've started to clear this break room and they're going to start moving into the vending machine hallway itself. The problem is, though, if they have a guy playing the vending machine, which it doesn't look like they do, as Flores is going to double up as he finds another for the team of MolotovGang. The entries are all going the way as they basically decide we're going to walk in and start shooting people. Kay's going to take an initial fight as well. We'll trade one back. So this is now looking really, really good for MolotovGang. They found their 2 entries. They've got this initial control with 1:20 left on the clock. And just a quick thing to touch on, you might be wondering why the yellow wall has got head holes in it. It's so that way, if it is a CEO take, you can basically support your yellow player from the spiral window. Basically hold the crossfire between top yellow and the spiral, so that's why those are there. But this is looking really, really good for the side of the attack.
Yes, they're looking solid. So far, just losing Duet, as we can see, and still waiting and roaming and expecting for the best moments, and just had a chance, but then, yeah, the Entropy player just escaped his control. Now it's gonna be cool to see how they're going to find this room. Rise already attacking Virile. 3v3, we are looking into Einer also coming here at this point, and Goyo already bringing that, excuse me, not Goyo, but we saw around a lot of those fire at these last seconds on the ground, and Hashi finishes this one off versus Betchy, who came to the play. Betchy was not playing the previous maps, but now he is on track and playing and alive. So it was a very, very cool start. A slow build up, right, from both sides, and Molotov took this one at the end.
Yeah, that's a great attack coming in from MolotovGang. Like, you've started this map, basically crushing, one of the strongest sites on this map, and that's going to give you so much confidence, like, especially coming off the back of the victory from the last map. That's a great way to start out from MolotovGang. Like, they found the entries, like, really successful. They found 2 before any of the trades came back. Deimos, doing really, really well to get those entry picks for his team. And yeah, it's really, really well played. So interesting to see how Entropy want to change their approach, maybe as we move. We are going to repeat this top floor. And I think the case is just going to be like, just play a little bit safer from the side of Entropy Gaming. Maybe try not to take as many fights early. And I would like to see them hold on to, it's commonly known as Baguette now, or this long desk area at the top of Spiral, as well as the vending machine. This hallway, this tiled hallway you can see on your screens now, this is generally speaking the biggest choke point for this bomb site if a team is doing an admin take. So I would like to see them, that's a great spawn pick coming out from Frost as well, taking out the Twitch. So that's a great kill coming in for Entropy Gaming, picking up the aggression to find the first kill. I'd just like to see them like draw their hard line a little bit closer to that vending machine hallway. It's hard enough to attack as it is, so you might as well play into that and just hold that hard line that's been proven that to be as strong as it is.
Exactly. Interesting region, like you pointed out, for both sides to see who's gonna be able to look better at the end of the round. And Jewett taking Rise down, and Rise, interestingly, with that first pick already, making a difference. Equality now on numbers, guys. This is the 3rd map for you, Law, who has just came now into the stream and to the chat. hang on with us and also share the stream. Make sure to follow also ESA Cup here on Twitch, and also on all the social media. We're gonna be seeing potential breach by Aina. Let's see if he's gonna be able to find someone off guard here. A very, very solid player so far, doing those picks. Him and Rise, right? I'm going almost playing at the same play style, trying to go for those long distance picks. And speaking of which, I would love to see a glass on either hands, right? Playing from
I was
out.
gonna say the kill
right?
back on the defense came from the Goyo. Like popping the Goyo, he died to the fire. So not sure what Goyo canister got popped to take out Rise there. But interesting tech there that he's died because of the Goyo on the defensive team. But again, MolotovGang have done well as we hit the midpoint of the round to clear this break room site, and it's because of the pressure coming in from below. The Amos below can basically dislodge all of these players in the break room itself due to all of the floor being soft. But this is now the hard line, right? We spoke about before, and that's really bad timing as the flank also comes in from below. This is much better from Entropy Gaming. We've understood that like it's going to be an admin take, and there's going to be a player isolated below. And for Cade and Mute to swing together to find that pick is really well played. But this is what we spoke about. We've now got a shield, as well as the Cade tucked in onto the bomb chassis to hold this crossfire onto these entry points into sight. If we can hold this position, there's a bulletproof. As Goyo's going to get sent flying, as Nomad's going to get a freebie. It's still a 3v3 as Cade finds his second in the round. And this is much better. Entropy have understood, like, oh, he's got his head taken off. As Ace finds another kill to even up the man count as we push deep into the bomb site. I was going to say it's very well played from Entropy to have the discipline not to peek, but they've given away a couple of frags. There's only 20 seconds left. What can the attack do to close this round out?
Right, and as you mentioned, tough one. Aina down, just gonna be the last one versus Trixie and Betchy. That was kind of a clumsy movement, wasn't it? Like getting out of the cover and rolling to the ground. Becoming an easy target for the MolotovGang player. Just is gonna go for his luck versus 2, like I said, and moving, trying to, of course, stay behind the protection barriers. And Trixie was the last man to kill him off for another round on the hands of Entropy. So they're alive. You know, they're trying to change things around and stay strong and steady here and consolate to finally bring a point and show that they can still fight off this one.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how effective that Legion shotgun is. We've seen it being brought out by Entropy a few times. That player seems very comfortable with using that weapon in exactly the situations where it's probably the best. Like, especially my preference, I think that shotgun, I would stay far away from it, but he's putting that shotgun to work. He seems to love it in his hands. And that's a much better round coming in from MolotovGang. Like, from Entropy Gaming to get their first defense. Like, there was a couple of people who overpeaked, but the remaining 2 players managed to clutch it out pretty well. I think that's down to the Cade finding 2 entries back. And now we move into the basement site. So this site is, again, the verticality similar to that top floor. It can be really strong, and I think that's exactly what the side of MolotovGang are going for. You can see we've got the Jackal to roam clear, very similar to when we were attacking on the previous map. Is we want to take above, we want to roam clear anybody playing there with the Jackal. Jackal, also with the Doki nerfs, Jackal now being maybe a little bit more preferred when it comes to the roam clear. You get those exact pings every so often. Deimos is even better because you get the live pings. But it's nice, this is a good balance of operators, I think, in the lineup. You've got 2 operators to do that vertical, which is your win condition, and then as well as Nomad and the Jackal to maintain that map control, right? You can use Jackal to clear the map, and then as well as the Nomad to make sure you don't get flanked while you're doing your vertical. I think that's a really underrated thing to mention, as that C4 is not going to find anything, is especially on this map, because you've got Yellow Stairs and Spiral and Visa, there's lots of avenues for the attack, or sorry, the remaining defenders to flank and execute, which they're just not going to have to deal with. As this guy's tucked very close to this breach, is going to give the game away. As yeah, a little bit of information about how we think this attack is going to go.
Enemy spotted.
Precisely, and Molotov, as you mentioned very well, bringing a lot of resources and essential tools onto their choices. Very varied kind of loadout of operators, and on the hands of Entropy, on the other hand, we see again that interception dash disabling pack of operators. Also with the Goyo, who's going to be denying space and areas. Afla, as we speak, takes Hachi down, so it's going to be a 5v4 for Entropy to handle and to try to keep into control of things. As we see already, just moving into the main stairs, he's going to try to have the pick. It's a fast-moving choice by him already, trying to rotate and, of course, offer to the rest of the team that information, which is going to be crucial for them to try to break into the bomb site room.
Yeah, so as we move into this middle phase, it's unfortunate that the first pick has gone the way of Entropy Gaming, so MolotovGang not able to have lost their flank watch. And as I say that, the goat Rise, who's been gunning the whole time, is going to get on with his flank. He's going to sneak up these Visa stairs, and if MolotovGang are not careful, this could be the killer blow to their attack. As I say that, Rise has done his job on that flank. He's found the Jackal as well, opening up these long angles onto the players playing the vertical. And this is where, from the side of MolotovGang, we do really, really well to find one of the anchors, though. This is where we have the advantage, we just don't need to peek. We can let the attack stall out. We can let these guys just kind of hang around where they are. Another great Nitro coming in. Traded back from the breach, though, as we do find another. The kills going back and forth, but the man count has been thrown by Entropy Gaming as we move into this execute. It's now a 2v1. But by retaking this vertical control, if he can find where this bomb is going down, it doesn't seem like he has the knowledge. He might just get lucky, though, as he sprays through the smoke to find the guy on the diffuser, as Ram is coming to hunt the player above. And if he doesn't have any audio, which he seems like he does, a little scruffy gunfight coming out. It's a 1v1 between the Mute and the Ram, and Ram's going to find that. What a great flick to find the Mute. But what a crazy round.
What a crazy round. And, you were expecting, like you said, for I would say kind of a controlling situation from Entropy, with them basically expecting and waiting for MolotovGang to roll. But MolotovGang, on the other hand, they have players that, regardless of the operator they pick, they are very good at trading. So that's the case of Varial, that's the case of Aina. These guys staying alive at the end was game changing for them to find this round and go ahead on numbers with this 2-1 on rounds versus Entropy Gaming. Fantastic game so far by them adjusting, but it's still a pretty much far away map of finishing, right? We're talking about maybe an overtime here to define who's going to be keeping their spots, staying alive into the upper brackets and facing Silent Family ahead into the upper bracket final. Whomever stays alive is going to be facing a very strong team, as I just mentioned, but who's going to lose, who's going to be losing today is not going to be yet out of the competition, since they're going to be falling into the lower bracket quarterfinals to face either LDL Valor or Project Black. So the championship offering a lot of chances for the team to adjust M-Guns with this layout, with this format, which I love, by the way. Swiss phase combined with a durable bracket, the playoffs is awesome for your team, to fix errors and, adjust mistakes and obviously come on top.
Yeah, this is, I like the use of a shield. Looks like we've completely changed the take. If we are Entropy Gaming, if we are MolotovGang, I'm just getting the team names confused again, but we are going to completely switch the take. The attackers have decided to go for a server take this time, opposed to a main breach take with the vertical. Little cheeky engagement coming out as Goyo is also, the Vigil is going to be contesting early. But this is good work from the Nomad just to make sure that the late flank doesn't come in. Because, again, you need to take these Visa stairs. Vigil's sort of being a problem right now, being a nuisance, but this is going to be a server-side take coming in from MolotovGang rather than a main breach take, as we saw before.
MolotovGang now using their time and trying to seize the moment. They have just taken one round. Let's see if they're going to be able to do that again with a Monty on the hands of Hachi. So, cool pick to try to pressure, let's put it this way, Entropy Gaming, right? Since Entropy doesn't like to shield operators, that's very clear today. Yeah, Monty is gonna have to be dealt with by Entropy Gaming at this occasion, and they come almost with the same operators as before, repeating that combo that I have mentioned before of controlling and intercepting and disabling. Again, their game plan is not changing. Let's see if the execution is gonna be different for them to find these 2-2 potentially versus MolotovGang. Still 10 men alive. Let's see what Monty is gonna be able to do when it comes to opening those avenues, right, for the team. And as we speak,
Rise found another. I was gonna say Rise found another, but Monty's the win condition here. Like, we know now one's off site because Rise just found one elsewhere. But they're being shut down as a crossfire onto this doorway is going to provide really, really useful. Monty getting tagged, and I think the problem is, right, because we've got no verticality, we're just walking headfirst into these anchor positions. Cade's having none of it, but will get traded back, leaving us in a 4v2. But like in these last 45 seconds, it's just a very one-dimensional attack, as Rise is going to find another, is then they're combining with the last player to clean up a round. It's just a very one-dimensional take coming in from the side of MolotovGang. Like, but basically, the win condition was we're just going to walk in with a Monty and see what we can do. But it's just not worked out for them, right? Like Rise getting a couple on the flank, just not helping the team out, as well as they didn't really have, again, it's these enabling operators, right? If you look
Yeah.
at the lineup being brought from MolotovGang, there's no Ying, there's no Capital, there's not really anybody that can like force these anchors out of their positions to sort of let us get into the bomb site.
Yeah,
And
right.
that's what I think has got MolotovGang in a bit of a pinch. Like once they got to the bomb site, they just had nothing to execute with. So their option was let's just force it and see what we can do. And unfortunately, it's not gone for their side.
It's very cool to, catch your point here, and yeah, and definitely state that Molotov Gang apparently are not picking totally perfectly for an attacking team, but on the other hand as well, Entropy Gaming picking at your comfortable zone. So these two elements combined are bringing obviously Entropy Gaming into an equalizer now. They were losing at first and found a first equalizer as into 1-1 and now 2-2. So it's a pretty open game. It's a sincere game, and we love it. But for Molotov game, we see some changes. We see now IQ, we see Ying, so they're gonna try to go for that kind of gradual build up, let's say around the C4 itself. Also with a Naru, is that the operator I'm seeing here? Guns when it comes to no, that's the dog. I'm saying Jewett is bringing Naru, I guess.
Aruni, yes. Yes, this is for the C execute. So we spoke about before how normally a lot of teams will bring a Grim to do this, but this is MolotovGang decided instead of going admin side, we're going to go straight to CEO with the Amaru. So the way this is going to work is we're basically going to flash the Amaru into the window. And the good thing about Amaru is you can jump straight back out and then repel, like basically use the ability to get back into the bomb site as fast as possible. The main thing is though, is as you can see, IQ's made her way below. She somehow managed to dodge all of this vertical that the defense has made and is going to find an entry pick of it as well. As yeah, she's basically just dodged all the vertical that stuck in below to find the entry pick. This is where we need to get the buck in below as well to clear where the Pulse is playing right now. Basically, right above where Pulse is right now is where the Pulse is playing to deny the CO plant. He's going to shoot through the floor to try and get some counterplay going, but as you can see there, Pulse has been forced away, and this basically means now that we have below control, there's only one Nitro left on the K to be able to deny this plant. There is no other plant bar left, so as long as the cover's in place, they can basically just Amaru in the window and get the bomb down. The flashbangs are going to start to come out. It should be pretty obvious that this is what the take is, but no flank watch means Valkyrie's going to get a free run out and drop the Ying. But again, you can see that they've got Goyo canisters in place to deny this plant as well. So this is all going to come down to, can we clear the utility to be able to get our players into the window?
Swapping mags.
Right, and as long as Entropy Gaming, manages to drown out the round and use better the time and waste time from Molotov, that's precisely how maybe MolotovGang's plan is gonna be falling apart. So that's the hope they have, at least versus Molotov, who are not so far able to jump in and make that big blasty entrance. And like you said, Aina taking the rise down, and it's gonna be on Trixie, but he's already dead at the end. So yeah, it's pretty much defined here. MolotovGang doing a good job, but Entropy being the ones to annihilate this composition from their enemies. So right, we have a 3-2, and the game is going into the same standard and pattern, right? Isn't it like 1 round 2 Molotov and then from Entropy? So the teams are back and forth. That's what I mean.
Yeah, this is much better, more entertaining to watch, I think, than the first two maps, right? The game is ping-ponging back and forth between the two teams, and IQ got a 3K on that last round by just lurking below. Like, her job was to make sure there was no C4s coming out, and she managed to find 3 entries, 1 through the floorboards, 2 and a couple of guys flanking. And it's just well played. Like, I thought it was almost game over when they found the Ying on the run out, but MolotovGang adapted really well to find the anchors in other ways, and MolotovGang, I don't know what they discussed after the first map, but their attacks have looked much cleaner. It could have just been a case of skyscrapers that defender-sided, that MolotovGang hadn't practiced it before or just didn't like attacking it. But it's good to see that so far on this map as well as the previous map, and Molotov Gaming look much stronger and have kept the series quite close. And I think especially for MolotovGang, to get 3 rounds on Consulate on your attack is really good work. Like, I think even if you lose this round and take us to a 3-3 split going into your own defense, I think you'll be more than happy with the work you've put in. And I don't know if this is just a preference thing on console, but we now have knock with the shotgun as well. Like, I don't know if this is a counter thing to counter the same shotgun being brought by the defense, But we also now have a knock shotgun as well. So just interesting to point out the loadouts being brought by some of these console players. I'm hoping we see the knock put that shotgun to as much use as we've seen on the defense. So interesting to point out that that shotgun is apparently very popular in this server.
Let's see how that knock's gonna change things indeed around in this round number 6. Often seen as a loud and still kind of complicated situational operator to use, right? But yeah, definitely on the hands of MolotovGang now to be used, and let's see how she's gonna play that stealthy kind of gameplay, potentially along with Demos. So it's a very interesting pack for MolotovGang versus Entropy, who again are repeating their picks and yeah, using more of the same. Let's see how they're gonna defend on this one. The vert work is already started by Duet. You see Aina, using the Ace to try to come in, and apparently Amaru, not being able to be brought up well in the last round like we saw, so it was not a very nice pick by them. But hey, it's awesome to see them trying to change things around. I love to see some creativity and some boldness into that.
Hey, I've got to stop you there because
Right.
this knock has basically snuck her way all the way up. The Goyo's on drones as well. I don't think he's gonna have heard this Legion mine go off. So yes, he was on the default cam when the Legion mine popped. So knock almost getting a very cheeky way into the bomb site to find entry. But elsewhere, Flores is gonna get his life taken away as we've moved into this. He's gonna tag the mute through his feet, touching his toes there through the drone hole. But this is again, it's looking a little bit stagnant from the side of MolotovGang. We've got into admin, but now we've got a stack. So I think Lane, we need to try and see how they can force their way into this bomb site. But again, there's no utility to help us get in. It's all gonna come down to, I think, if the knock can get a backstab, as Ace is gonna fall through the hatch, not realizing it was open. So they are gonna have to work their way back up into admin if that's where the push is gonna come in.
Right, and Nox still alive. Let's see all the power that we expect from this operator after great analysis. MolotovGang now playing with one man down versus Entropy, who are looking strong again to get back on track and making this equal on the scoreboard. Let's see what's gonna roll. Viral, he was there, was taken down. Shisui versus Viral. Managing to win this battle for a 3v3 now with Trixie also managing to defeat. Yeah, it's a bunch of kills going back here, and it's gonna be about who's gonna be tougher at the end, since Entropy they were better on putting the bullets into their opponent's skulls. And as you posed very well, and Guns, no utility, right, from Molotov to build that kind of tricky invasion, not at all.
100%. And something to touch on as well, maybe why we're seeing more shotguns, is they did receive a buff this season. I completely forgot about this change, but yeah, there has been a buff to a lot of the shotguns to sort of bring them back to where they used to be. I'm sure all of you guys remember a couple of patches ago, the laser sight used to really buff these shotguns, but then when they reworked the laser, we sort of lost those changes. So they try to make it a little bit more in line with how it used to be. So that's why I think we're seeing this Legion put his shotgun to work. Seems to love that weapon, and it's working really, really well for him. But now MolotovGang, I think they've got a really good split. To get a 3-3 split on what's debatably, not even debatably, which is the strongest, the weaker side when it comes to this map specifically, I think you've done really, really well. So this is going to come down to now, Molotov Gaming have got the easier side, right? They've attacked first across all 3 maps, and it's really paying off in these last 2, because they're now, as the same as the last map, on Cafe, they're now moving into the stronger side. So we need to see something special, I think, come out from the side of Entropy. I would really like to see some more of these enabling operators. Ying is available. She's a very easy one to just throw into the bomb site and try and walk in with it. We saw Ying being brought once or twice for a very niche strat, if you like. But I would just like her to be able to see her on a general execute as well. It just creates so much havoc in the site, but it's just something that you need a operator to be your win condition, right? I think Entropy have got the same lineup as MolotovGang, more or less. So when they're going to be pushing the side, they're basically going to run into the same problems that MolotovGang did when they're pushing this admin side.
Absolutely, and for MolotovGang, not only the challenge will be being able to also, find those rounds, those easy, apparently, rounds now, from now on at least, but also not allowing so much room for Entropy. Because in the last rounds, we have seen Entropy finding a way and also, pushing things ahead. Obviously, Entropy Gaming, gaining that confidence is going to become trouble for Molotov. as we know from previous matches in this very season. And just like that, not a lot's gonna be happening differently speaking from the operator side of things, as we see now. Bet you trying to roll and get this information with his Flores. It's gonna be an interesting breaching charge here to open things up or potentially create a distraction for MolotovGang too.
I was going to say, the main problem now is we've got to start clearing this break room position, right? You can see a player in that break room, the wall is going to get up, it should force this player back. So that is going to be the break room being cleared out, as they now have what's called Coffin, Nomad sneaking their way into Coffin as well. Should take out the default count, and now this is where we have a minute 20 left to basically work our execute. Pogmat coming in clutch, as they just did not see the Pogmat there. So Ace is going to be on low HP for the rest of this round, as well as also having that limp penalty applied to him. Nock has found a way to sneak all the way up to the top of these spiral stairs. And if this Nock can find a player in this position, this is what's going to unlock the round for Entropy Gaming. The nade's going to come out as the water starts to feel the pressure. The nade isn't going to make him move off the position, as he basically just retakes the position when the nade goes away, which is pretty cool. But like, this is where we're basically stalling out, right? 2 entry picks coming in from the side of Molotov, as the kill feed is pretty much all orange. The shotgun to the face is going to take out Tricks as well, and that's a clean round for defense, as they just got stuck, right? We need to see these teams bring some kind of, whether it's even flashes or nades or something. They just can't seem to. And the other thing they're missing is the suicide breach as well. Something we haven't touched on so far is the suicide breach has just not been touched. For those of you not aware what suicide is, it's the balcony that leads into the bomb site. There's now an outside breach that's been introduced where the window used to be, and that's generally where you can apply pressure to this bomb site to sort of pinch these defenders out. And neither of these teams have moved anybody towards that breach to get it open. So maybe that's the thing these teams are missing.
Maybe that's the case. Yeah, of a missing point. I don't know, a missing kind of area to get used and explored, like you mentioned, into the map. Now from MolotovGang, different picks. Interestingly, Valk, Bandit, and Pulse coming to their side for that information and some chasing power on the hands of Pulse, but it's not gonna go much beyond that. And from Entropy, the usual, except from that Monty on the hands of Betchy, and he's a very strong guy when it comes to going for the 1v1, so it's gonna be cool to see all that combo. Yeah, Monty, Jackal, Tokebi, Ace, and Run. So you're gonna have a lot of potential different choices to make during the round. Let's see if they're gonna come and make like faster moves also, because that could again catch Molotov out of guard. I would say Molotov, they were pretty comfortable in the last round, right? Just stacking up and waiting, and they have done it. They have managed to go into the leadership, of the scoreboard.
Oh, the LMG of Maestro is sticking out there, so he's going to get spotted up. Also, something to note is that outside wall leading to basement is not going to get open. There's no vertical, there's no anything you can do to clear this bandit, unless you have a map. Map's not been brought by the lineup, so they're not going to get that wall open. The other thing to mention is, especially on this bomb site, is you can basically hold the entire mid-floor bomb site. When I say mid-floor, it's really the ground floor, because basement is basement. You can basically hold the site above basement from basement itself. There's very few desks and things you can plant on, so basically the whole of this map is can be, the whole plant on anywhere on that mid floor can be denied through the verticality. So that's why you've got heavy info on the Maestro as well as the Pulse to basically figure out where that plant's going down if they manage to get into archives. The idea is that we're going to deny this completely from below, as this Legion's, I think, stuck, as he's going to find the kill somehow onto Tricks, as the Monty is going to push this Legion back. Legion is going to feel the pressure there, as the Monty will trade him out. Nice team play there to pinch this player out. But Legion, I think he's done his job. He's gone 1 for 1, which is not the end of the world. They are going to castle off the rest of this garage site to make it a little bit more difficult for Entropy Gaming to actually pressure them on the below site. You can see around, there's a lot of free space here, because the idea is we just want to hold the bomb site. We want to hold. That's a great timing as well, as they surprise the Maestro. Great use.
Wow, that was great.
Yeah, that was great use of the ram gas in there, right? But this is where we're going to start seeing the execute come in.
Right. Amazing. I even have to say sorry, Guns. I just got excited by the Blasty choice. And yeah, the invasion, following up with an immediate kill was amazing for them. Entropy finding this spot and the route for this attack now with Juwet coming and taking Betcha down. It's going to be a 3v2 for MolotovGang. So what a follow-up now with Rise coming from the up and having that information into breach on the floor that he's got. And it's going to be up to Rise and Shisu to solve this one. And Shisu has been such a key player on the previous maps, and now also obviously coming and helping the team as much as he can, killing a lot, like I said, defining this battle against Aina. It's going to be up for him again to decide this here, resolve things against the two alive players from Molotov.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's a nice little clean round coming in for the side of MolotovGang. It's a really well played defense. But something I wanted to highlight is those the nerfs to the shields coming in huge. Like the idea was we're going to cause chaos with the Monty as he pushes down Visa stairs. But the fact that the Monty doesn't have priority anymore over the melees from attackers is huge. You saw the guard break come in from the pulse. He did a great job just to melee the shield. And because now the melee from the Monty doesn't like counteract the melee of the attack, you managed to find the feet of the Monty with that shotgun, putting that semi-auto shotgun, which obviously has been buffed now, to work. And that's going to be huge for MolotovGang. Something to touch on is that if you do manage to win one of these like not as favored bomb sites earlier rather than later, it basically means you have more odds of winning on the stronger bomb sites. It's a nice little pocket strat from the side of MolotovGang to be able to play a site that maybe the attackers aren't as practiced in attacking, and that's what's got them the victory. Like if you can be confident in winning these sites that most teams don't expect to see, like it's clear by a mile that Archives is normally like never touched. To be able to have a pocket strat and to be able to win on those bomb sites can give you a real leg up in these games. So this should be pretty good for MolotovGang, as now they should have another very strong bomb site on basement available to them.
Definitely, yes. MolotovGang feeling the confidence, right? Finally, also putting 2 rounds ahead of Entropy Gaming for the first time in this very map. That has not happened before, has not been the case so far from both sides. So it's great to see Molotov finding that edge and obviously using that against Entropy. Entropy now trying to reverse these things and trying to also attack better. And we have seen them struggling again versus those shoot operators. So it's something that they do need to work on, right? Looking forward, and especially thinking about the next opponents, they definitely need to improve on that matter. As we see now, still 10 players alive inside of already the bid in itself, and just takes a flood down. So it's tough again for Entropy, as Molotov, they are better on numbers.
Inserting code! Shotgun going live. Loading new mag! Launching code. Loading mag!
Sorry, you guys can hear me there. But yeah, Vigil doing a great job to waste the time here. So you were stuck with some silence as you saw a great C4 coming out on the side of the defense. It's a nice little trap laid by the defense. You basically bait the attackers into clearing the Vigil, and in doing so, they've been caught into that trap of the pre-play C4. I think they might have timed it with the Echo drone as well to give them additional info, but it's really good job from MolotovGang. The strategy of using 2 loose roamers is working out great as they find another on the round as well.
And not only the pick of itself of the operator and all, but like how the team trades and the momentum as well is on their side. Absolutely looking so strong to rob this one, as they got 5 players versus 2, not just one. Rise is gonna be the last one, and Vario is the man to take him down after this work versus the Azami barrier. So it was complicated for him. MolotovGang already looking like the winner here to go onwards in the championship and stay in the better spot of the brackets. Guns at 6-3. So Entropy Gaming sadly falling apart into the third map.
Yeah, as we spoke about from the side of Molotov Gaming on Skyscraper, it's not over yet. Like the situation is not as desperate as it was for MolotovGang on Skyscraper. You are like only 3 rounds down, whereas MolotovGang were 0 and 6 down. So like the score line is not as brutal, if you like, for Entropy Gaming, and they're still very much in this. Like we are moving back to the top floor, which again is the most strongest sites, and you can see that they are learning from their previous takes. We've got Tricks bringing the Ying, which should really help them get into the bomb site. But like this is where, unfortunately, like being on match point gives a huge advantage to the team. Like seems obvious, right? Like you're on match point,
Right,
you're about to
right.
win the series. But this is
10
where for
seconds to
Entropy
go.
Gaming, you just have to dig really deep. Like if you want to make it to that upper bracket
5
final,
seconds to
you
insertion.
need to now. This is where you've just really got to keep it together. Like these last few rounds have not been
Attackers
going
are
your
moving
way,
out to
and if
locate
you
a
can
bomb
bring
and
it back to
defuse it.
6-4, 6-5, the momentum starts to creep back into your favor. Like this is where you need to grab the momentum in this round if you want a chance of bringing this back. So it's unfortunate that Entropy find themselves down in this series, also on this map, to maybe possibly lose the series. But it's just because MolotovGang, their strategy has just been on point so far.
And also, I would say, on the top of that, MolotovGang not making those totally controversial picks. They have been picking, in a very safe way. Entropy, obviously, for the most part as well. But MolotovGang they have been executing well the plans of definitely denying those areas. Goyo is precisely there for that, and not only the picks again, but the ability of them. And so I'm sorry for trading bullets and fighting those fights. So MolotovGang, they're doing a fantastic job in this final run of the map. As we see already, information coming for Entropy. Rise is taking a look, and again down to that same alley, isn't it?
Bomb has been located.
Yes, Gums.
The
It's
attacker's
an
bomb
area
diffuser
that
has been
all the
dropped.
teams, all the players need to look at.
Yeah, so like this is just it's really well played. Like I didn't quite catch the question there. Could you repeat it for me?
Absolutely, I just mentioned how tough it's for both sides to be watching in that island, to be watching that area of the map.
Attackers have
Oh
Which
yeah,
is
it's
close
vending
to the
machine
bomb
hallway.
Attackers have dropped
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bomb.
So this is the I spoke about it before, right? This is the toughest part of attacking this bomb site. We're gonna do an admin take, but this is where hopefully we've seen some adaptation as they finally opened up the suicide breach, which is really good to see. And luckily, especially as we move into 1 minute 20, it's the same timing as before, but now we have more angles open to us, as well as the fact that we now have. Never mind, we had a Ying, we don't have one anymore. I was going to say we have these enabling operators, but we don't actually have the Ying anymore. So hopefully this additional pressure by opening the suicide breach is going to be the winning condition for Entropy Gaming. As Flores is going to try and push forward, but is going to get found. As this is the problem. This crossfire between the
Attackers
desk
recovered
and
the
the two
diffuser.
doorways into sight is
Yeah.
just so strong for the defenders. And like a couple of players on being low
Attackers
HP
dropped
from
the
the
diffuser.
side of Entropy is not going to be a great start. As we are going to put that shotgun to use on the knock, as the attacking shotgun this time is going to find one, but another kill coming in from the defense. And now this is looking desperate from the side of Entropy. That they're 2v4 with everybody full HP. With only 20 seconds left, there's not much to work with for Entropy Gaming to stay in this series.
Yeah, it's looking like MolotovGang's gonna take this one. It's a 4v2, and definitely
15 seconds to
Molotov
go.
rising a lot, especially on the last half of the map. They have been doing a great job now. It's a matter of finishing off the last player alive. Trixie, he's gonna fall into the ground. Warrior brings the victory with the team, and MolotovGang are the winners after a bunch of nice picks, just like this one. Victory, and they are the winners with a 7-3 on rounds. Amazing run, especially on the second and the third map, right? Guns. That's when MolotovGang, they were able to rise and shine. Amazing work, amazing recovery power into the series as a whole, and Entropy Gaming sadly falling apart into the lower bracket.
Yeah, we are going to jump to a updated bracket to show you guys, so you guys can see how this tournament is looking and how the
Right.
playoffs are sort of functioning. So we'll show you guys that quickly, but this is really well played from the side of MVG. Like to lose the first map the way they did, and to come back at 2-1 in the series. I think it genuinely comes down to the ban choices coming in from the side of Entropy. The clash worked out really well for them, and then they banned it in both of the maps going forward, which is very interesting. Don't quite understand the logic happening there, as I think that's caused them to basically, that it worked really well for them. But like this is the updated bracket. We are going to see MVG move forward. So you can see here, this is how our bracket is looking, and we've got a few more games in this season of ESA for you.
Right. So yes, it's confirmed that MolotovGang are going to be facing Silent Family into the next phase here into the brackets. Now, as for tomorrow's match, you're going to be watching Linux Defense League, meaning LDL Valor versus Project Black. That game's going to roll tomorrow at 7:30 CET time zone. So stay put and obviously follow ESA Cup into the show socials and also here at Twitch to catch on this game live tomorrow with other casters. Since me and my friend Guns, we're gonna finish this one off. So it was a pleasure to be with you, Guns. Hoping to see you more times.
Yeah, it was great to cast with you, and I'm very grateful we got a map 3. Like, it was a really good series to watch. We saw both teams being very, very dominant. So shout out to both teams for giving us a great series to watch. So it was a pleasure casting with you as well, Lane. And we'll hopefully be on ESA back soon to give you guys another game. So thank you for watching, guys, and that's going to be the end of the stream today.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Roy, and thank you, Max, for the production on the backstage. We see each other hopefully soon.